Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here tonight. It's Saturday evening. We got the Cleveland Guardians versus the Seattle Mariners. We're knotted up 1-1 so far in the series. Guardians took game one, a little disappointed. Game two, we got a little bit of payback and revenge. And again, we have a good opportunity here with our ace, Brian Wu, on the mound. And I can't wait to be able to see how this all plays out. Let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Saturday, everyone. On the left, one of the best third basemen in the game, Jose Ramirez. And on the right, one of the best pitchers, if not the best in the staff, Brian Wu. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Cleveland Guardians. Leading off for the Guardians in center field, Steven Kwan. Batting second, DHing for the Guardians, Chase DeLauder. Batting third, playing third base, Jose Ramirez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, playing first base tonight, Kyle Manzardo. Batting fifth, catching today for Cleveland, David Fry. Batting sixth, playing second base, Daniel Schneemann. Batting seventh, playing left field, Angel Martinez. Batting eighth, playing right field, C.J. Kafus. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for the Guardians, Brian Rocchio. And on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians, Joey Cantillo. And now let's get into the starting lineup here for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at DH, Rob Refsnyder. And once they get a few more photos of Rob, we won't have to use the old photo, but this was the best one that I could find. They didn't have anything really in spring training that was quality, so we'll have to go with this until maybe after tonight. Let's go, Rob. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, it's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Will this be the day that he ends up getting a hit and possibly a home run? Trident's up. Let's hope so. Batting third, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arosarena. Batting sixth, playing third base, Brendan Donovan. Batting seventh and playing in right field, giving Luke Raley a day of rest, Victor Robles. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Leo Rivas. And batting ninth, playing second base, one of the heroes last night with Luke Raley, Cole Young. And on the mound, our ace, you know who it is. It is Brian Wu. Let's go, baby. Let's get it done. Every game will be dedicated to this man, as well as Dave Niehaus, Rick Riz, 50th anniversary, 40 plus years on the radio. This will be his last year. Let's get it done. Let's win it for Dave, and let's win it for Rick. The Rizzler, I see you. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. We're only 3 subs away from 23,500. I have a pretty good feeling we're going to be able to eclipse that tonight, considering we've been able to get about 60 plus subs within the last 2 days.
Hey, did you find the manual?
Yes!
Summon Dale!
Who's Dale? America.
All right, let me get everything situated with all of my screens here. All right, and we should be good to go. Shout out to all of the individuals that have been showing a lot of love and support to the channel with likes and subs and views and donos and helping me take care of my pup. That vet visit is definitely something that's very important that needs to get done. And I appreciate every single one of y'all. Daniel in the building, what's good? Happy Saturday. Marine Bean in the building, what's good? And let's get the volume turned up. And we're about to get here into first pitch to Stephen Kwan. First pitch, right down the middle with a four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Wu, 0-1 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Oh, 1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And yes, he did. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. And again, my favorite starter in the rotation for Seattle. Obviously, we knew he had potential last year, and he's definitely taking it to another level. Wu on the mound, Kwan in the box. 0-2 pitch. Hard hit ball into left field and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. No balls and 2 strikes to Stephen Kwan. And if you guys notice, I'm always paying attention to detail, and I'll definitely mix up the photos every game. You won't see too many streams that will have the same photos from the previous night, and we'll even flip up some of the opponents' photos as well. Little blooper there to Leo Rivas, and I'll take that. That is 1 away. Nice job there by Brian Wu so far. Down goes Stephen Kwan on that little pop-up to Leo Rivas. Next up in the 2-hole, DHing Chase DeLauder. He ends up, being pretty dominant for Cleveland. 2 home runs in game 1, and he has a home run from last night, so he's got 3 on the season already. First pitch is high and away. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 1-0 count. Wu on the mound, DeLauder in the box. You just can't pitch him right down the middle. We've already seen Logan Gilbert go to him right down the middle. First inning home run. George Kirby did the same thing. Home run. And again, Wu might be a little bit more confident, than those two. But again, you don't want to press the issue too much. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. And normally that would have been the DeLauder home run swing if he would have, took a crack at that. 96 miles an hour right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch, right down the middle, big swing and a miss. Maybe Wu just got a little bit more stuff, than Gilbert and Kirby, because it's like DeLauder can't find the rhythm yet. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to DeLauder. But if you test DeLauder, enough down the middle, eventually he'll get you. He's proven that already in the first 2 games against Gilbert and Kirby. 1-2 pitch, crushes that one into left field, out of play. 96 miles an hour there by Brian Wu, looking fantastic here early. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Guardians and the Mariners. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and the first punch out in 2026 for Brian Wu. Let's go, baby. Way to bring that electricity early, Brian Wu. Love it. Next up, third baseman, one of the best in this generation, potentially future Hall of Famer, Jose Ramirez. Absolutely fantastic player, offense and defense. First pitch to Ramirez, pops it up. Oh! Donovan catches it in foul territory, runs into the wall. I hope he's okay. And he gets up, dusts himself off, and that would be out number 3. Oh, my. And we already knew that Donovan, normally can play second and short, and ended up, keeping his focus, slamming into that wall pretty hard. But again, not anything serious to knock himself out or get injured. Hell of an effort there by Brendan Donovan. And again, I would rather have, Donovan lead off. But obviously, if you listen to the pre-show, Ref Snyder's not going to play often. But when we do go against lefties, he's going to be able to get a chance to get in the lineup in Apparently looks like same thing with Victor Robles. They might be pairing those guys together. I would have rather had Ref Snyder, maybe a little bit lower in the lineup, but the method to the madness to Dan Wilson is that they want him to get as many opportunities. And again, whether it's, batting first, second, or third, can't have Cal or Julio necessarily. Well, I guess you could have Julio leading off. We've had that in the past, but they wanted to kind of keep their rotation pretty much the same in 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they ended up going with Donovan at 6 and Ref Snyder at 1. And I know, Ref Snyder, has a tendency to be able to rake. But again, who do we trust more, Donovan or Ref Snyder? And we'll find out if it was a mistake or not. But hopefully Rob will get off to a good start. Great defense there by Brendan Donovan. I love it. And now let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners in the bottom of the first inning. Daniel in the building, what's good? Marine Bean in the building, what's good? Scott, Big Zach, Mac Sean in the building, what's good, baby? Let's get it. Chap in the building, what's good from Australia? I love it. Leading off for the Mariners at DH, Rob Refsnyder. And again, you're not going to usually see him in when we have right-handed pitching, but when it is left, they're going to try to implement him. Batting second, the big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. But if it's me, I would rather have 5 at-bats for Brandon Donovan, and 4 for Rob Refsnyder, rather than 5 potentially for Rob and only 4 for Donovan. I think Donovan is one of the best players on the team. But again, I get it. You got to make sure that you're, plugging guys in that aren't playing every day. And, obviously I know Victor Robles is probably a little disappointed that he's not playing in right field, as the main guy, as a starter. But again, we know that Robles is a better defender than Luke, but Luke's timing in the box has been great. And so far, so good for Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone. They have a day off because we have a left-handed pitcher here today. And we're going more of a pro-righty lineup, but we'll see how it goes. First pitch, low and at the knees with the 4-seam fastball there by Joey Cantillo. And that is 1-0 count. Cantillo on the mound, Rob Refsnyder in the box. And hopefully this will be the last stream that we'll have to use an old photo. They just didn't have enough for Rob in spring training for me to find a good one to use. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees, 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Cantillo. 2 balls and no strikes to Rob Refsnyder. Roy in the building, what's good? Jacob in the building, what's good? 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. I like that. 3 balls and no strikes to Rob Refsnyder. And he celebrated a birthday on opening day. Obviously, wasn't the greatest birthday since we did take that L. Jacob's Guardians ended up getting the victory, but we got payback last night. And so far, Rob looking good with the patience in the box. 3-0 pitch, high and inside. That would be an ABS one that I would call out. That should be ball 4. And then again, 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, high and inside. And again, I don't think that they're going to challenge this, but I would. That definitely would be 4 straight balls, but they give him a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the first, 0-0 here early between the Guardians and the Mariners. 3-1 pitch. Pops it up into right field, and that is 1 away. And that's the difference. You do an ABS there. You get Rob at first base with Cal Raleigh coming up to the plate and Julio on deck. Instead, it ends up being a strike next pitch, and you end up popping out to right, and that is 1 away. Got to be very, critical on, when to be able to challenge, but there's probably only a certain amount of players that have the ability to do it based off management. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Batting right-handed since we're going against the lefty. Takes a strike looking high and inside with a curveball, 80 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Let's go, Cal. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Cantillo. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And we know how he dramatically improved from the right side of the plate, compared to the first couple years into the season. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball. Laser towards left field. I thought, oh my God, this is going to be the first hit for Cal. And something kind of crazy, the Mariners are the only team pre-1900 to start the first 2 games without a single. we got doubles, we got triples, we got home runs, but we absolutely have 0 singles. And the last time that's happened is like 1898. So again, we are getting the bombs, but we do need singles as well. 0-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Cal Raleigh strikes out, and struggles continue with Cal, but I still have confidence that he'll be able to get it done at some point tonight. And that is 2 away. Still love you, Big Dumper. Next up, center fielder, the best in the game. It's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. We know he can do it offensively. We know he can do it defensively. He's got the no-fly zone in check, but let's see if we can get on the board here early with Julio. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a slider, 83 miles an hour, low and inside at the knees, 0-1 count. Let's go, J-Rod. Yeah, I've never seen a stat like that. And again, it's not just the Mariners, it's like any team, that has never gone through the first 2 games without a single. We have doubles, we have triples, and the rest are home runs. It's kind of wild if you really think about it. 0-1 pitch, high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. That changeup was 81 miles an hour. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. 2-1 pitch. Crushes that one into right field, out of play. Great souvenir for that fan out there. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Cantillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and a great job there by Cantillo with the punch out on Julio. And again, Cal and Julio still struggling here a little bit early in the season. I know they're going to get going, but you got to give credit there to Joey getting the job done there in the bottom of the first. Let's go to the top of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Zay in the building. What's good? 24 likes, 76 to goal. Let's get it, baby. And it looks like we just hit our number. Shout out to the 3 new subs that we just acquired. And now the next goal will be 100 subs to get to 23,600. So we finally hit the 23,500 number. Obviously the next goal would be get to 25,000 and then 30,000 subs, and we're definitely on our way. And we've been doing really well with the sub count in the first 2 days of the regular season, 60 plus subs, and I have a good feeling that we'll be able to get somewhere in that 15 to 50 range here tonight. Next up for the Guardians in the 4-hole, playing first base today, Kyle Manzardo. Filling in for Bo Naylor at catcher in the 5-hole, David Fry. And batting third in the 6-hole, playing second base, Daniel Schneemann. And on the mound, obviously, is our ace, Brian Wu. First pitch to Brian Wu to Kyle Manzardo. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by our ace, Brian Wu. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Manzardo can't find the zone there early. 95 miles an hour back to back by Brian Wu. I like what I'm seeing here early from Wu. Wu on the mound, Manzardo in the box. Oh, 2 pitch. Crushed into left field, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the second. 0-0 here early between the Guardians and the Mariners, and we've obviously split the first two games. Season opener, Guardians got the dub. We got payback last night. Luke Raley, Cole Young, thank you very much, as well as George Kirby, and we're looking to be able to get our second win of the season here tonight. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Manzardo. Brian Wu on the mound. Kyle Manzardo in the box. One-two pitch. Crushed into left field, fading out of play. Slider 87 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the second inning. 0-0 here early between the Guardians and the Mariners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and another punch out there for Wu. We like that, baby. Let's go. I see you, Brian. Second punch out there for Brian Wu here early. Down goes Manzardo, swinging. Next up, playing catcher today for Bo Naylor, David Fry. First pitch to Fry. Pops it up, shallow right field. And it ends up going in between Rivas and Robles. And a nice base knock there by David Fry. Nobody had a chance to be able to get that ball. You had 3 Mariners trying to converge on that, but, just right in the sweet spot. What can you do? Nice hit there by David Fry. Next up, in the 6th hole, playing second base, Daniel Schneemann. And again, we would love for a slow dribbler right up the middle for a double play to end the inning. Let's see if the sports gods are listening, and they'll make it happen. First pitch to Schneemann. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. No balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Wu looks a little bit more locked in than Gilbert and Kirby. They both gave up, first inning home runs, but that was pretty much it. And hopefully Wu won't give up anything. And as I say that, hard hit ball, deep right field. Robles is there though, and that is 2 away. Down goes Daniel Schneemann. 2 away. Next up for the Guardians in the 7th hole, playing left field tonight, Angel Martinez. Wu on the mound. Martinez in the box. And Wu is obviously good enough to be the number 1. He could have started, opening day. There's no doubt about that. And honestly, everyone's got their favorites between Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu. Obviously, we know that Miller and Castillo are on the bottom end, of the starting 5. But again, it's nice to be able to have a deep rotation, but we'll see kind of how it goes. First pitch is fouled off by Martinez. 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike to Angel Martinez. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Angel Martinez. And I know they, started off with Castillo being kind of the, opening day guy for a couple years, and then they did Gilbert back-to-back. And I know Wu got hurt at the end of the year, but who was the best pitcher, overall last year? It was Brian Wu. So, and a big strikeout there for Wu. Takes a strike 3 looking. Down goes Angel Martinez, and another punch out for Wu. But again, I knew, maybe there was some chatter that maybe he wasn't 100% and they just wanted to give it to Gilbert and then just kind of go through that particular rotation with Gilbert, Kirby, then Wu. But for me, when I watch Mariner games, I'm the most confident when Brian Wu is on the mound. Then probably Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, kind of a tie, 1A, 1B, or 2A, 2B, for example. And then, Miller and Castillo, I don't really have a whole lot of trust in them, and I don't really trust Emerson Hancock. I am waiting for Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson in the future to get a chance to show what they can do. Eventually, those guys could replace Miller and Castillo and potentially give us the superstar starting five, because Sloan is nasty as a righty, and Cade Anderson, we don't really have a lefty. And I've been really waiting for quite some time. I mean, we did have Robbie Ray, for a short period of time, and we've had a few lefties, over time, Jamie Moyer and whatnot. But, it's going to be very exciting when those guys eventually progress. But so far, so good here for Brian Wu. 3 Ks already. And let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. And it's crazy because when Wu first started, we put him in the 5-hole, but you could see the potential, that, Gilbert and Kirby, are all-stars. Wu was an all-star last year. You're not going to get, Miller or Castillo realistically an all-star this year. If we were going to produce, all-stars, you would assume it would be Wu, Gilbert, Kirby would have the best chance. And Miller is obviously injured already, so he's already at an uphill battle. And Castillo's numbers, if you look at him from the day that we got him in 2022, he was great. He helped us get to the playoffs, but every year after that, metrics are showing that the numbers are kind of going downhill. But again, you got to be able to have some of those guys, produce for you in the 4 and the 5. In the bottom of the second inning, next up, first baseman, cleanup hitter, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. On deck, Randy Arozarena, and batting third in the 6-hole, third baseman Brendan Donovan. First pitch to Josh Naylor, in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Slider high and away, 82 miles an hour there by Cantillo. 0-1 pitch, low and inside at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Wu's at 23 pitches, 20 strikes. Can you believe that? Wild. 3 Ks so far, too. Locked in. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Slider, 83 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Josh Naylor. Let's go, Nails. I got an autograph rookie of Wu that's graded. I don't have anything of Kirby or Gilbert yet, but there's just something special about Brian Wu. And honestly, if he didn't get hurt at the end of the year, I really do believe that we would have been able to get past the Blue Jays. We could have had Wu pitch 3 times if needed in 7 games. And who knows, against the Dodgers, if you had Wu 3 times and he was as good as he was at the beginning of the year, there's a chance that the Mariners could have potentially won the World Series if they were able to get past Toronto. But again, that was, definitely a devastating injury for us fans, but he definitely looks locked in here at the beginning of the year. Pitches low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Now we know how great the Dodgers are, obviously going back to back, and obviously Yoshinobu Yamamoto went 3 times, and that 7-game series against the Blue Jays, and he was the deciding factor. I get that. I'm going to give him all the love and credit. And the previous year was Shohei Ohtani, but again, this Mariner team is deep. It's not like we're that far behind. The Mariners and the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, were the 3 last teams left. And they were all very, very close to each other. It really wasn't, the Dodgers are that much better. The Blue Jays proved that in the World Series. And that one is fouled towards right field off the wall. Slider, 82 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And again, I think that the Blue Jays really impressed the Mariner fans. They were the better hitting team. And again, pitching, in the bullpen kind of lost it for them, in Game 7 and when it went to extras. Little hard hit ball towards first base. Run, Naylor. Throw to first. And that is 1 away. But I really do feel like, the difference between the Blue Jays and the Mariners and obviously the Dodgers at the end of the year, I mean, it was not that big of a difference between those 3 teams. And if we're really being honest, the Dodgers kind of struggled to hit in the World Series versus Toronto. Next up, in left field in the 5-hole, Randy Arozarena. First pitch from Cantillo to Randy, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Cantillo, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour on that previous pitch. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Had a number of walks yesterday, and hopefully he'll have some patience here in the box today. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 2-1 pitch, low and inside at the knees, but gets the strike call from the ump. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Randy Arozarena. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 here early with nobody on and 1 out. Pitches low and at the knees on that 2-2 pitch from Cantillo. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. On deck is third baseman Brendan Donovan. Had a home run in the season opener on a 3-1 count. Came up with a big grab. Oh, my. All right, now that was a strike 3 from the ump, and Randy immediately said challenge. So let's see where this is, and this should be a walk. But let's see. ABS. And there we go. Good call by Randy, and I wish Cal, had that awareness, in the first game where we had a similar situation where he didn't challenge, and it definitely hurt our momentum, but Randy was all over that. And again, we are going to, criticize when he doesn't hustle in left field the ground balls. And when he gets the ball, he kind of lobs it, doesn't ever throw a laser. But good eye by Randy. That's a walk. Next up, in the 6th hole, third baseman Brendan Donovan. First pitch, high and away to Donovan, 1-0 count. 287 average, 10 home runs, and 50 ribbies for the Cardinals last season. And he'll obliterate those numbers here in Seattle. You best believe. 1-0 pitch from Cantillo. Big swing and a miss right down the middle there. Slider 82 miles an hour by Cantillo. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. Bottom of the second inning. Runner at first, Randy Arozarena with 1 out. Donovan in the box, Cantillo on the mound. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees, takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. I agree, Roy. But you only have so many challenges, but you got to be able to take advantage when it's there. 1-2 pitch, little dribbler towards first base, double play opportunity, throw to first, and safe at first. That's what I'm talking about. Hustle, even when you feel like maybe 95% chance you're out. But if you hustle, you never know. And again, nice job there with the hustle to be able to run that out by Donovan. Fielder's choice, so we don't get the double play. Randy is out at second, but nice job there by Brendan Donovan being safe at first. Next up, in the 7 hole, right fielder Victor Robles. And obviously they started the season with Luke Raley, and a lot of people were a little nervous, because Luke wasn't very good for us last season, but timing was much better in the box with a few home runs in game 1 and game 2. Defense still a little suspect. I think Victor is a better typical defender most of the time in right field, but finally gets an opportunity to get a chance to play. First pitch to Robles, takes a strike looking low and at the knees. Curveball 80 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cantillo to Robles. Changeup 81 miles an hour missing low and away to Victor Robles. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. Let's go, Victor. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Robles. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Robles. And obviously we know that Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion, as a lefty, and Luke Raley obviously have the day off unless they end up, coming in later if they end up having a right-handed pitcher to pinch hit. But they've been very productive the first couple games. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. 2-2 pitch from Cantillo, high and away. Misses the corner by a few inches there. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. And, getting a guy like Rob to be a fill-in guy was great. But Brendan Donovan and Josh Naylor are perfect fits for this team. And it really is going to take us to the next level. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball into left field. Go, Victor, go. Run. Oh, he's coming home. Run, Brandon. Run, slide. Yes. Wow, Brendan Donovan could have stayed at third but said, I'm going to go for it, and ended up sliding head first. 1-0 Mariners. Unbelievable. And that's the type of hustle that we were lacking, with J.P. Crawford, Randy Arosarena, as well as Victor Robles as a leadoff hitter. You get a guy that can hit home runs. You get a guy that can play great defense, running into the wall in the first inning and still coming with the ball in the glove, even though he hit that wall pretty hard. And then look at the hustle there. Beautiful. 1-0 M's. Nice job there by Victor Robles with a RBI double. 1-0 M's. Let's go. Trident's up. Next up is Leo Rivas. First pitch to Leo is a ball. 1-0 count. I love this team, man. 1-0 pitch. High and away, but on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cantillo to Rivas. Bottom of the second inning. Runner at second. Victor Robles just got a RBI double. And a great hustle by Victor to get to second base as well. 1-1 pitch. Leo crushes it to center field. Should stay in play. And that is out number 3, but not after. Victor Robles ends up asserting himself. Luke Raley played in the first 2 games in right field and was productive. Victor Robles plays in game 3. Boom, RBI. This team is special, you best believe. 1-0 Mariners. Great job, Victor. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go to the top of the third inning and see who's up next for the Guardians. All right, we got 135 people in the room. We got 39 likes, 61 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Next up for the Guardians in the top of the third inning, in the 8-hole, right fielder C.J. Kafus. Batting second in the 9-hole, shortstop Brian Rocchio. And batting third, 0 for 1, center fielder Stephen Kwan. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Yeah, and the reason that M is going in game 4, because that would normally be Bryce Miller. So that's who he's filling in for. Bryce is the 4, Castillo is the 5. Miller is hurt, so Emerson is going to take that spot. And I wish him the best, because we got the Yankees after the Guardians, and it's going to be a war and a battle. As everyone knows, when we play the Yankees, it's definitely very challenging. First pitch to C.J. Kafus is a ball from Brian Wu, high and away, 93 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners with an RBI double by Victor Robles, playing in his first game of the season and getting the job done. 1-0 pitch, high and away from Brian Wu to C.J. Kafus, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Kafus. 2-0 pitch, hard hit ball, shallow center field. Julio is there. No-fly zone in effect, and that is 1 away. Nice job, Julio. Great defense out there in center field in the no-fly zone. Next up in the 9-hole, shortstop, Brian Rocchio. Woo on the mound. Rocchio in the box. First pitch to Rocchio, fouls it behind the plate. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Low and away, but doesn't get the call there from the ump. 1 ball and 1 strike from Woo to Rocchio. And I know Emerson has been, on the team. But for me personally, I think Ryan Sloan or Cade Anderson would be able to pitch better than Emerson Hancock, but we have to be patient, and be able to wait for those guys to get the call up. But personally, if you watch those guys in the farm, they have more stuff. They're more electric than Emerson. There's no doubt about it. Popped up, and Rivas is there, and that is 2 away. And if I'm really being honest, once Sloan and Cade come up, there's going to be a learning curve. But I actually like Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson more, than Castillo, Emerson, Hancock, and even sometimes even more than Bryce Miller. And again, they're going to have to learn, and they'll have to, wait their turn, so to speak. But I think that once those guys get called up, I think people will be very impressed, especially Mariner fans that haven't really been following Cade Anderson or Ryan Sloan in the farm. I wouldn't say something like that unless I really truly believed it. First pitch to Stephen Kwan, takes a strike looking. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Velasco in the building, what's good? Let's get them likes up, let them know. And a hard hit ball, little dribbler towards first base, throw to Naylor, and that is out number 3. And I appreciate you, Velasco. You and Vapor and a lot of the others have really stepped up in the first, couple games, here in the regular season on the Dono train, helping, Paisley out as well as myself. So thank you for that. Appreciate you very, very much. And hopefully we'll be able to continue our success from last night here tonight. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. We just hit 23,500, so next goal will be 23,600. Next up for the Mariners in the 9-hole, second baseman had that big bomb last night with Luke Raley, Cole Young. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a DH, formerly of the Boston Red Sox, Rob Refsnyder. And obviously, since we have a lefty, they want to give him an opportunity to get as many at-bats, considering he typically rakes against left-handed pitching. But again, I would have rather had Donovan, be the leadoff and, have potentially 5 at-bats and 4 for Rob. But, if Rob can end up getting a couple hits, then we'll see if this will be something they'll continue with when we have left-handed pitching. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And if you're just tuning into the broadcast, just coming in, Victor Robles, who hasn't played in the first 2 games, they went with Luke Raley and Wright. Raley's had home runs in the first 2 games. Victor Robles comes in his first game in game number 3, gets a huge double to left, and Brandon Donovan hustling from second, sliding in head first at home, and we have a early 1-0 lead. And just to think about who our starters are, who our bench is, who we have, obviously in the farm, this is one of the best organizations in baseball. It's just, there's just no doubt about it. And again, it took us a while, to get to this point. There was a 20-year gap where a lot of us hardcore Mariner fans, we didn't really have a whole lot of hope, but things definitely have gotten better within the last 4 or 5 years. First pitch to Cole Young, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away by Cantillo. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Yeah, a lot of pressure on Cal and Julio, based on who they are, but they just need to relax. Go for some single swings instead of the home run swing. Again, everything will come in time. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. Should have been a ball. If it was challenged by the ABS, that would be a 3-0 count, but it is 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Young. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour there by Cantillo. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Mariners with nobody on and no outs. Two-two pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Cole Young on strikes. Next up, DHing at the leadoff hitter since we have a left-handed pitcher, Rob Refsnyder. TJ in the building, what's good? First pitch to Rob, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Refsnyder is super patient, in the box, especially against lefties, kind of waiting for that perfect pitch. 269 average, 9 homers and 30 ribbies. Rakes against lefties. Against righties, he struggles, and that's why you're not going to see him typically in the lineup when we have a right-handed pitcher. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with the slider, 82 miles an hour right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rob Refsnyder. One pitch, check swing, and it dribbles down third base but goes foul. And look at the hustle by Refsnyder running to first. I always, I'm a guy, I pay attention to detail, like every little minute thing, body language, hustle, how they talk to each other, obviously on the field, in the dugout, and in interviews. Like, you can really pick up, a person's personality, if you just pay attention. And again, nice hustle there by Rob. And hopefully we'll be able to drop a bunt down or 2 as we continue to go throughout the season. Playing small ball can definitely help a team win, especially a team like the Mariners. I assume that we'll be dropping a bunt or 2 down when we play the Yankees, but, we'll see what happens against the Guardians here. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball, laser into right field, and then goes into the right field outfield about 10 rows back. A beautiful souvenir for that fan there. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Refsnyder. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 1-2 pitch. Good eye by Rob. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. Two pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Refsnyder. Cantillo on the mound. Refsnyder in the box. And hopefully that'll be the last time that we have to use an old photo from last season, but Rob doesn't have any good ones yet. 3-2 pitch, pops it up. Should be a routine play here in foul territory for the Guardians, and that is 2 away. Next up, in the 2-hole, catcher Cal Raleigh. And Monday through Wednesday, Aaron Judge and the Yankees versus the Big Dumper and Cal Raleigh. Can't wait. And luckily, the team is deep enough where we can take a chance at putting Rob as a leadoff hitter instead of Donovan and potentially still win a game. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, low and away. Good eye by the Big Dumper, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch. There we go. Cal Raleigh with the first single. And I love it. Let's go. Finally ending the drought. Cal Raleigh struggled in the WBC, struggled in the first 2 games. That's my boy. Cal Raleigh with big smiles, grinning from ear to ear, and a nice single there for the Mariners. Next up, center fielder in the 3-hole, Julio Rodriguez. This would be a great time for a Julio two-run blast to make it 3-0. What do you think? First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. But I don't got to get greedy. Hell, Julio's been struggling too, so I'll take a single by Julio also if needed. Just keep the inning going. Obviously, a double, triple, or home run would be preferred, but at this point when a player is struggling, you'll take anything. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss on that slider. Beautiful pitch by Cantillo. 83-mile-an-hour slider fooled Julio. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Cal Raleigh with his first hit of the season. Thank God. In the bottom of the third with 2 outs, Mariners up 1-0 with an RBI double by Victor Robles in the second inning. Come on, J-Rod. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. Good eye by Julio with that four-seam fastball just out of the zone. 90 miles an hour there by Cantillo. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first, Cal Raleigh, and 2 outs. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Mariners. Oh, broken bat. Holy cow. And Julio will have to get a new bat there. I'm not sure if I've seen a bat break like that before. Vapor in the building. What's good? All right, come on, sports gods. Make it happen. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go, Julio. Bottom of the third, runner at first, Cal Raleigh with 2 outs, 1-0 Mariners. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees, and Cal gets into second base safely with the stolen bag. There we go. Now at this point, you only need Julio to get a double for Cal to be able to come home, depending on where the ball is hit. Even though Cal's a little slower, he could still make it from second to home. Not as fast as Brendan Donovan, but, depending on where the ball lands, we'll see. Come on, Julio, keep the inning going. Nice stolen bag there by Cal. Good awareness. 3-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Count still remains full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Joey Cantillo on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Let's go, J-Rod. On deck is Nails, first baseman Josh Naylor. Three-two pitch. And there we go. If that was Julio from last season, he would have swung at that, and that would have been strike 3. Julio being patient in the box and taking the walk. My man. Nice job, J-Rod. It's the evolution of a ball player. Sometimes you got to get to year 5 through 10 before you hit your prime, especially if you play 15 or 20 years. Next up, cleanup hitter, first baseman. It's Nails, 0 for 1, Josh Naylor. 3-run blast by Josh Naylor would be sweet, wouldn't it? First pitch right down the middle to Josh Naylor, 0-1 count. But hell, at this point, I'll just take an RBI single would be great. Just get on base and let's keep the inning going. On deck is Randy Arosarena. 0-1 pitch, Naylor with the laser towards first base and foul. No balls and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Naylor. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners. Trident's up. Runners at first and second, Cal and Julio with 2 outs. 0-2 pitch to Naylor. Crushes it into left field, fading out of play. Count still remains. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And on that previous pitch was a 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Joey Cantillo. Come on, Naylor. Keep grinding, Josh. 0-2 pitch. And that ball ends up going towards first base, towards the Mariner dugout, and foul. Count still remains. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners, runners at first and second, Cal and Julio. We haven't been able to say that in the first two games. And now we have 2 outs with an 0-2 count, and time is called for Josh Naylor. O2 pitch to Naylor. Big swing and a miss, and down Naylor goes. We leave 2 stranded, but I am happy that Cal and Julio got on base. Cal got a single, finally got off the schneid from the WBC, as well as the first 2 games of the season, and Julio got on with a walk. So again, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. You know, you're not going to be able to get all of your, base runners to come home every inning. But again, you got to crawl before you walk, and hopefully the next time they end up getting up in the box, we'll be able to bring those guys home unless they end up hitting home runs themselves. End of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners. And let's see who's up next here for the Guardians in the top of the fourth inning. All right, we're at 57 likes. We're almost there. 43 more to go to get to 100. Let's get it, baby. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 99 subs to go to 23,600. We just hit 23,500 earlier in the broadcast. Appreciate every single one of you. Next up for the Guardians in the 2-hole, 0 for 1 with a K, DHing Chase DeLauder. 2 home runs in game 1, 1 yesterday, but nothing so far today. Batting second, 0 for 1, third baseman in the 3-hole, Jose Ramirez. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman in the 4-hole, Kyle Manzardo. Let him know, Marine Bean. Just takes 1 second. Well, considering Cantillo is at 66 pitches, realistically, unless we end up roughing him up, he'll probably go 6 innings. And Woo's only at 31 pitches. Listen to this stat. 31 pitches, 26 strikes, and now it's 32 pitches, 26 strikes with 3 Ks. Crazy. I don't think I've seen that many Ks on that amount of pitches, and he has half of the amount of Cantillo. Wild. First pitch takes a strike, looking right down the middle with that 4-seam fastball, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with that changeup, 88 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. Woo is incredible. 1-1 pitch. That is fouled behind the plate towards that KeyBank sign and the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Woo to DeLauder. Hard hit rate. Guardians were last season. That's crazy. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and another punch out there by our guy, Brian Woo. Let's go. Nice job, Woo. 4 Ks for Brian Woo. My man. Way to bring that electricity, Brian Woo. Next up for Brian Woo in the 3-hole, 0 for 1. One of the best third basemen in the generation lately, Jose Ramirez. First pitch to Ramirez is high and away, 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Woo. He is locked in. And all of his balls have been like inches away 1-0 pitch. Should have been a strike there on a four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, but doesn't get the call from the ump. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, 1-0 with a Mariner lead. An RBI double by Victor Robles, bringing Brendan Donovan home in the 2nd inning, and that's where we sit, 1-0. Mariners. Trident's up. 2-0 pitch, fouled off, out of play. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, 1-0 ends. Two-one pitch, popped up into shallow left field. Oh my God! Wow, Donovan, Leo Rivas, and Randy running towards the ball, and Leo with an incredibly athletic catch, because I feel if Randy would have went for it, he might have missed it. And again, look at the distance that Leo covers here. Probably Randy, would have been able to get that. It would have been a pop-up, and, Donovan was a little bit closer as well, but thankfully they don't run into each other, and that is 2 away. Nice job, Rivas. I mean, even though Randy probably should have called him off, I trust Randy in pop-ups, just not really on ground balls. Next up is Kyle Manzardo. Defense has been magnificent for the Mariners in the first 3 games. First pitch to Manzardo ends up getting fouled back behind the plate. 94-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball there by Wu. 0-1 count. 40 pitches, 31 strikes. I don't think we've seen anybody in MLB with their first start with numbers like that. Incredible. 0-1 pitch. That gets crushed into left field, fading out of play. And you got to think about half of the pitches that were called ball were actually strikes. Or at least on the line. That could have been, either way. So pretty impressive. Pitch gets fouled off again there by Kyle Manzardo. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Brian Wu. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Manzardo. Top of the 4th with nobody on and 2 outs. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. But he ends up getting the throw to first. Maybe you got a little foul tip on it. Throw to first and got him. And that is out number 3. Great job there by Brian Wu, adding another out to the resume. Great job. I would have rather had that have been, just a big swing and a miss. But, anytime they end up getting a little bit of a piece, they still got to be able to throw it to first. But all in all, we'll end up taking out number 3. Great job there by Brian Wu. Looks like actually they did give him the strike 3. Okay, good. I was going to say, sometimes when they get that little foul tip, they'll have to throw it to first, but it looks like on the stat column, they did finally upgrade it and give him the punch out. Good. So he's got 5 Ks. I love that. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, and the 5-hole left fielder, 0-for-0 with a base on ball. A walk in his first appearance. Had a couple of those, 2 or 3 yesterday. Randy Arozarena. Batting second in the 6-hole, 0-for-1 with a run, third baseman Brendan Donovan. And batting third, 1-for-1 with an RBI, right fielder, getting a chance to play in his first game of the season and being productive. You know who it is. It is Victor Robles. Aloha. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch to Arozarena, slow dribbler towards third base. Nice hustle, Randy. And that might have been the best hustle I've seen at Randy, go from, home plate to first base in a while. Nice job there You get just a little piece of that ball, dribbles very closely to the foul line towards third base. And look at the hustle here by Randy in the replay. And he knows that this is the type of play that you need to hustle on. But again, we would like to see him hustle like that on every play. But I guess beggars can't be choosers. Great job there by Randy Arosarena. Love it. Next up, 0 for 1 with a run, third baseman Brendan Donovan, who ended up running into the wall in the first inning in foul territory, making a great catch. And obviously ran very hard from second to home, where he probably could have pumped the brakes at third, but saw the opportunity. He was doing things like that for the St. Louis Cardinals last year, and it shows you how valuable Brendan Donovan is. Now, we all love Josh Naylor and what he brings, for the team with the vibes and everything that he brought last season, but I think that Donovan will be more productive than Naylor, throughout the season. Could end up being the most productive player on the team this year. You got to remember, he won Rookie of the Year in the National League when Julio won it in the American League, and he was an all-star last year. And look at that. I talk him up. Another base knock by Brendan Donovan. I think that he's got a good chance to be, again, with guys like Cal and Julio and Naylor and Randy, this could be potentially the, most productive player on the Mariners this season. And again, this is probably one of the biggest pickups that we've had in our team history. He is phenomenal. Donovan singles to center, Arosarena to second. Let's go. Next up, Victor Robles. And I like players that are very well-rounded. They're patient in the box. He can hit home runs as a leadoff hitter. He can get singles, doubles, triples, and he's a great defender. I mean, how many guys, can you say that about on the Mariners, let alone in the league? There's not very many that are like Brendan Donovan. Incredible player. First pitch to Victor Robles, shows bunt. Oh my God, I love it. Go. Oh, and it goes foul. I was about to say that would be a great time, at some point in this at bat, if we could see Robles, throw down a bunt, but he kind of beat me to the punch there before I could say it. And great job there by Victor with the bunt. Didn't end up being fair, but again, small ball is king. And I'm really happy that we're seeing that here early in the game. And maybe we'll see if he drops another one or not here. I think so too, Roy. I think there's a very good possibility. 0-1 pitch, shows bunt again, but is low and inside. I don't know if I would have bunted 2 times in a row. Once you show your cards, you want to probably just take a pitch or actually go with a regular swing to, let them know that, you're trying to keep the pitcher on their heels, but ends up getting called a ball. So we're fine. 1 ball and 1 strike to Victor Robles. 1-1 pitch, shows bunt again, pulls it back, and ends up being another ball low and at the knees. And you got to be careful, because especially when they're, you're going to show bunt and they're going inside, that's how you get hit on the wrist, and then you end up getting injured. And we saw Victor, take that type of, play, and, you don't want to, have an unnecessary injury by dropping a bunt. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Good eye by Victor, pulling it back. 3 balls and 1 strike when he showed bunt all 4 times in the box so far. Runners at first and second with no outs. This could be the inning where we blow the game up a little bit. Let's go, Victor. 3-1 pitch. Victor crushes it. Deep right field. Oh, what a catch. Kafis. And the runners have to go back. But you do get Randy tagging up from second to third. So we got runners on the corners now at first and third. So, wow. Great defensive play there by CJ Kafis. If that was just a couple inches more to the right, that would have scored 2, no doubt. And it kind of makes you wonder if we would have been able to get that bunt down, if we would have been able to move both those guys over, but runners at first and third. So essentially he did the job. At least you got 1 guy over. Next up is Leo Rivas. First pitch to Leo Rivas. He shows bunt. Someone pinch me. Am I dreaming? When's the last time the Mariners went back-to-back with bunt attempts with 2 batters? Like fucking never. Crazy. But this is our 50th anniversary. We're going to do this for Rick Riz, so we got to be able to pull out all the tricks in the bag. Small ball is king. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Doesn't show bunt that time. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Bottom of the 4th. Runners on the corners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Obviously, we don't want any slow dribbler up the middle for a possible, double play. So hopefully Rivas will be able to get a nice RBI single to make it 2-0 here momentarily. Goes for the bunt. Drops it down perfectly. And everyone is safe. Wow. Great job. And again, this is the first time the Mariners have dropped back-to-back bunts in a long time. And again, I've been watching every game from beginning to end, and for many, many seasons. And that definitely first in quite a long time. And you could see Randy was going to test him and potentially try to go home, but with the ball right in front of the catcher, he would have been out by a mile. So he decided to pump the brakes, walk back to third, and now what are they going to call? Let's take a look at the replay here. Hit the barrel twice. Once, twice. So it ends up being a foul ball. Damn it! I was really hoping that we could have bases loaded there. So that ends up being a bunt foul. 1-2 pitch. Rivas crushes that one into right field, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corner still at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-0 Mariners, and an RBI double by Victor Robles bringing Brandon Donovan home in the 2nd. And that's where we sit right now. And Brian Wu has a 1-hitter. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees to Leo Rivas. Great eyes by Leo and patience. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Rivas. Dave in the building, what's good? Brett in the building, what's good? Two pitch into the dirt, and now count is full. Nice stop there by David Fry behind the plate, filling in for Bo Naylor. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Bottom of the 4th, runners at 1st and 3rd, 3-2 pitch, popped up out of play. Count still is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with runners on the corners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Cantillo on the mound, Leo Rivas in the box. 4-seam, 4-seam, change-up, curveball, 4-seam, slider, 4-seam for Cantillo. 3-2 pitch to Rivas and crushes it into right field, fading out of play. Count still remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. On deck in the 9-hole, second baseman Cole Young. Come on, Leo. 3-2 pitch. Whoa, gets away from the catcher. Go, baby, go. And Randy comes home. 2-0 Mariners. Hell yeah. Let's go. Now, if that was Bo Naylor, he probably would have been able to get that. But definitely, great awareness by the base runners there. 2-0 Seattle. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And that might be it there for Cantillo. I mean, if they keep him in, there's a good chance that, Cole Young, 3-run blast, 5-0 Mariners. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. We just hit 23,500 earlier in the broadcast. So next goal will be 23,600. Still looking for our first dono on the dono train here today. We were very productive there on day 1 and day 2. And now we have Cole Young in the box. Let's see if he can make Cantillo pay. 0 for 1 with a K in his first at bat, but did crush a big blast yesterday to be able to give us a big lead. First pitch, low and at the knees inside, 1-0 count. Bottom of the fourth inning, runners at first and second with one out. Mariners up 2-0 on Cleveland. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle with a strike to Cole Young. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cantillo to Young. Cantillo on the mound, Young in the box. 1-1 pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. 3-run blast by Cole Young would be great. But even an RBI would be awesome as well. Just keep the game going. Keep the inning alive. 1-2 pitch inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cantillo to Young. And his pitch count is increasing, to the point where he's almost at 90 now, I believe. Wu is at 42 pitches, 33 strikes. Cantillo's at 87 and 52. Hard hit ball towards first base and foul. That's wild. We're in the 4th inning and Wu has only got 42 pitches. So efficient. Pitch fouled off right down the middle. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Come on, Young. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base. And just barely foul. Come on, Cole. It's a Cole world, baby. Two-two pitch. Low and away. Good eye there by Cole. If that was last year, that would have been a strike 3. But great patience by most of the Mariners in the lineup in these first 3 games of the season. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Rob Refsnyder on deck. Come on, Cole. If it's not there, don't swing. Take the walk. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. It would have been ball 4. And Cole will have to learn from that. And that is 2 away. Should have been more patient there, Cole. You would have been on first base, and we would have had bases loaded with 1 out for Rob Refsnyder. All right, looks like Cantillo's day is done. And now we'll end up bringing in Festa, I believe. We got a pitching change here for the Guardians. All right, let's see what Joey's final line was here for the Guardians. So final line, 3.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, 91 pitches, 55 strikes. And coming in for Joey Cantillo is Matt Festa. And then compared to what Brian Wu has, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. We've been very good with Gilbert, Kirby, and Wu with walks so far, and he only has 42 pitches so far. We're halfway through the game already, and 33 strikes. And in reality, he probably has closer to 38 or 39 strikes out of 42, but some of them were, borderline on the line, and, we didn't get a few of those, but Wu has been electric. Next up for the Mariners, leading off, Rob Refsnyder, so far 0 for 2. Oh, Dominic Canzone coming in. Good. All right, Refsnyder's night is done, and I like that. Great decision by Dan Wilson bringing in Dom. I mean, we got Rob, to primarily go against lefties only, and they bring in a righty. And again, no point of having Rob out there anymore. First pitch, Dom pops it up and foul territory, and that's out number 3. Not exactly what we wanted, with runners stranded at first and second, but to have Dom for the rest of the game as the leadoff hitter, I'll take that. The Italian Stallion pops up in foul territory for out number 3. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Next up for the Guardians, 1 for 1, catching today for Bo Naylor in the 5-hole, David Fry. Batting second, 0 for 1, second baseman in the 6-hole, Daniel Schneemann. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K in the 7-hole, left fielder Angel Martinez. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, you know who it is, Brian Woo! All right, we're getting close. 82 likes, 18 to go to get to 100. So we got 165 in the room. If we can get 18 people, we can get to 100, and then it'll be easy sailing from that point on. Appreciate you. And Roy gets us on the board with our first dono on the dono train. We're at 5, 95 to go to hit our first goal. Appreciate you. Shout out to Roy. First pitch to David Fry, high and inside, 1-0 count. Appreciate you, Roy. 18 more likes to go to get to 100. 2-0 Mariners, we love that. After losing the season opener, looking good here in Game 2 and Game 3. 1-0 pitch, high and inside again there by Brian Woo. 2 balls and no strikes to David Fry. And again, Woo could have been the season opener. I was kind of hoping that he would be the guy. No disrespect to Logan Gilbert. I mean, I love him as well, just as much as I love George Kirby. I think Gilbert and Kirby are great. They both have been all-stars with Woo. But, if that's the rotation that they want to go with, I think it's going to work for us. But Woo is deserving, of, being the leadoff guy in the season opener based on how he played last season. 2-1 pitch, fouled off. Behind the plate, four-seam fastball there by Woo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to David Fry. And we got one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. Obviously, the bullpen could use some work, but every team, could use a little bit of work in the pen. But essentially to have 8 guys, like we mentioned earlier, once we end up getting the call up from some of the guys in the farm, big swing and a miss, and down goes David Fry. Another punch out there by Woo. Way to bring that electricity, Brian Woo. Next up for Brian Woo, in the 6-hole, Daniel Schneemann. First pitch, right down the middle to Schneemann, takes a strike, 0-1 count. Velasco with a tenner. Appreciate you. Pitch fouled off. On the 0-1 count to Schneemann, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, no balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Schneemann. Top of the 5th with nobody on and 1 out, 2-0 Mariners, Trident's up. 0-2 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Schneemann. And Velasco with a tenner, appreciate you. We're at 15 now, 85 to go. One-two pitch, check swing. Did he go? And looks like he did not. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Schneemann. Let him know, Drew. All it takes is just a second to hit that like button, regardless if you're a Mariner fan, a Guardian fan, or just a fan of baseball. You're not going to get a broadcast like this on YouTube anywhere else. Top of the 5th inning with nobody on and 1 out. 2-0 Mariner lead. Brian Wu has been electric. 1 hitter so far. 2-2 pitch. Popped up into left field. Randy, get it! And there we go. Nice job there by Randy Arosarena with the pop-up into left, and that is 2 away. Down goes Daniel Schneemann. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, left fielder in the 7-hole, Angel Martinez. Wu on the mound, Martinez in the box. Steve in the building, what's good? Everett in the building, what's good? Hard hit ball into right field, and Wu just gave up his second hit. Run, Victor! And a nice laser throw from Victor Robles. That's what I like to see. But a nice double there by Angel Martinez. And I know we have a global audience. It's not just everyone in the United States and Canada. You know, there's people all over the globe that end up watching the broadcast and whatnot. But even if you are, overseas, I think universally everyone knows what the like button is. So top of the 5th inning with a runner at second with 2 outs. 2-0 Mariner lead. Nice double there by Angel Martinez. Wu had a 1-hitter, but still a 2-hitter is fantastic. And hopefully we'll be able to get this last out on CJ Kafus. First pitch to Kafus. Fouls that one off Cal Raleigh. 0-1 count. Wu on the mound. CJ Kafus in the box. But I feel like when Wu is on the mound, even though he's technically the 3, in the starting rotation, I have the utmost confidence in Wu, a little bit more than Gilbert and Kirby, because we know Gilbert and Kirby sometimes will get roughed up early, like they did in Game 1 in the season opener and Game 2. They gave up an early home run in the first, but they didn't really give up a whole lot after that, and that's really a credit to who Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are. But when you look at Brian Wu, when we first brought him up as the 5, he's made a hell of a remarkable journey to be able to get himself in position to be the 1. And even though he didn't end up pitching in the season opener, he probably should have. Big swing and a miss there by Kafus. 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch. Tries to jam him, and he fouls it back to that Miller time sign behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. Let's go, Wu. I love great pitching. I love defense. And again, it's just like in football, when you get special teams and defensive big plays, they're exciting. Not to say offensive plays aren't, but again, a big part of the game, especially in baseball, is going to be pitching and defense. And with the pitch count so low, we could see Wu go quite a long time. I mean, he's only had 56 pitches, and we are in the 5th inning. 43 strikes on top of that with a 2-hitter. 0-2 pitch. High and away, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. And it was just kind of cruel that Wu ended up getting hurt at the end of the year, because if we would have had Wu potentially 3 times out of 7 games against the Blue Jays or the Dodgers, who knows, what could have happened last season. 1-2 pitch, popped up and fading out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. Wu on the mound, CJ Kafus in the box. Wu's got a certain type of swagger, not to say that Logan Gilbert and George Kirby don't, but they're a little bit more reserved. They just kind of let the pitches speak for themselves. But Wu has got an aura about him. Big swing and a miss, and another punch out by Wu. He is the number one on this team, baby. Nice job by Brian Wu. Ended up giving up his second hit with that double, but it didn't come home. And let's take a look at Wu's numbers here tonight. All right, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and that's been fantastic for the Mariners with Kirby, Gilbert, and Wu. We haven't been walking anybody, but with Miller injured and Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo on deck, we assume that those guys will get quite a few walks, but at least for today, no walks, 7 Ks, 59 pitches, 45 strikes, and in reality, it probably should be 59 pitches for like 54 strikes, but again, hasn't got some of those calls. ERA of 0, and he's got a 2-hitter. I love it. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 5th inning. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a K. Finally got off the schneid in the WBC and got himself a single. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Will this be the at-bat where we get the solo dinger? We will find out. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. We're looking for that home run from you too, Julio. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K. Another individual that's been struggling a little bit here early in the season. 0 for 2 with a K. It's Nails, first baseman, Josh Naylor. All right, perfect. It looks like we ended up hitting the 100 like number. Fantastic. We're at 101.99 to be able to get to 200. We're at 101, 49 to 150. Let's go. First pitch from Festa to big dumper. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Little blooper. And to shallow left field. Oh! Diving grab out there in left field. And I was hoping that was going to fall in no man's land in between the players. Between Jose Ramirez and Angel Martinez. But Angel Martinez with a diving grab. And we've seen some excellent defense between both of these two teams in the first 3 games. Amazing plays in left field, amazing plays in right field, and amazing plays in foul territory. Nice job there by Angel Martinez. Wish I would have been able to get another hit from the big dumper. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez, high and inside, 1-0 count. Captain in the building. What's good, brother? 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That was a moonshot swing there by Julio. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Julio Rodriguez. 1 ball and 1 strike from Matt Festa to Julio Rodriguez. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Mariners with nobody on and 1 out. 1-1 pitch. Julio right up the middle. Run, Julio. And a lazy effort by Julio Rodriguez running to first. And again, even when you think you're going to be out, you never know what the throw to first will be. Show me a little bit more hustle. I get it. You're struggling, but show me some fucking hustle. We've even gotten Randy to fucking hustle to first base. Come on, Julio. You got to get back to the basics. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman, Josh Naylor. And I think that's really what separates, the good from the great are the people that put in the extra work, off the field and on the field. Really, even if you think you're going to be 99.999% out and you have no chance to be safe at first, still hustle. People notice. First pitch is high and away to Josh Naylor. 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch and crushes it into right field, foul. Sweeper, 80 miles an hour there by Matt Festa. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Let's go, Nails. 2 outs and nobody on. Bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Mariners. Tridents up. Matt Festa on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians. Josh Naylor in the box. Woo pitching a gem like he always tends to pitch, as long as he's healthy. 2-hitter. And again, based on his pitch count, he could literally pitch 8 innings tonight. I don't think that they're going to have him go that long, but potentially he could, based off his pitch count right now, which is insane. He's only at 59 pitches with 7 Ks and no walks. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a 4-seam fastball. 90 miles an hour by Matt Festa. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. I mean, it would be wild if Woo went 8 innings and then we just brought in Munoz and then game over. That's like the best case scenario, but big swing and a miss there by Josh Naylor, still trying to find his footing and his timing, and that is out number 3. End of the 5th inning, 2-0 Seattle. Looks like we gained 6 subs since the last commercial break. $93 subs to go to 23,600, and we've been able to pick up, close to 80 subs within the first 2.5 games so far, which is fantastic. Next up for the Guardians in the top of the 6th, in the 9-hole, 0 for 1, shortstop Brian Rocchio. Batting second, leadoff hitter, center fielder, 0 for 2, Steven Kwan. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing Chase DeLauder, who ended up hitting 2 home runs off Logan Gilbert, or at least 1 off Logan Gilbert. I can't remember if Logan gave up the second one. I believe it was another pitcher that came in after that gave up the second. And then obviously George Kirby gave up a home run to him in the first as well. 3 home runs in the first 2 games off Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and others. But today, against Brian Woo, he's got no answer at the moment. And let's keep it that way. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, Brian Woo. Woo! Consecutive scoreless opportunities. We got Brash, Mooney. We got Gabe a couple spots after that, but obviously we know Gabe has really been struggling, not only in the WBC, but in spring training and in the regular season. But at least we have Jose Ferrer as a lefty that we might be able to, take his spot as far as reliability. But at least we got Bizzardo, Brash, and Mooney still. So at least we have a few guys we can trust. First pitch from Brian Woo to Brian Rocchio. Brian to Brian. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, high and away, 1-0 count. Top of the 6th inning, nobody on and no outs, 2-0 Mariner lead. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Brian Rocchio. And I've been very impressed with the Mariners not walking, with Gilbert, Kirby, now Woo. But again, when we have Hancock and Castillo, I assume we're going to get a number of walks from those guys. And hopefully when Bryce Miller ends up being healthy, he'll be able to get back to, a typical Bryce Miller type of form when he's good. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Brian Woo. 3-0 count to Brian Rocchio. Let's go, Woo. Takes a strike right down the middle from Brian Woo. Beautiful pitch there. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. 2-0 Mariner lead. Three-one pitch. And that is ball 4, and that'll be the first walk there for Brian Woo. Next up for the Guardians, leadoff hitter 0 for 2, playing center field, Steven Kwan. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch, low and inside at the knees to Steven Kwan, 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Wu. And his pitch count is 65 pitches total with 46 strikes. And Cal Raleigh is going to have a mound visit with Wu. You know, when you end up having that many balls after having so many strikes, you want to make sure you just get a little bit of a break. You know, give him a breather and a little bit of strategy as we have Donovan and the rest of the infield huddled up with Cal. And Cal is one of the best in Major League Baseball. You know, he knows his pitchers better than anybody. You know, whether it's a starter like Brian Wu, who's electric, or even a guy in the bullpen that's been struggling like a Gabe Spire. He always tries to, you know, find that moment where someone's kind of reeling a little bit to be able to get them settled in and to calm down. And hopefully that will do the trick here for Brian Wu. 1-0 pitch to Quan. Low and at the knees. Inside there. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Quan. Finish strong, Wu. Brian Wu on the mound. Stephen Quan in the box. Throw to first. And Rocchio is safe. Two-0 pitch, right down the middle for a strike. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour to Stephen Quan, the Oregon State Beaver alum. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Top of the 6th inning, 2-0 Seattle. 2-1 pitch, crushes it into left field, out of play. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first and no outs. And obviously, if we get a slow dribbler up the middle, we can get a nice double play, and that would be great here for Brian Wu. I'll take a punch out as well, but double play would be great. Come on, sports gods, make it happen. 2-2 pitch, pops it up, shallow center field. Julio is there. Oh, and him and Randy collide, but Julio makes the catch. And the no-fly zone continues to do big things. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. Got to have a little bit better communication between him and Randy. And they bump into each other, but luckily the ball stays in the mitt for Julio, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Guardians, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing in the 2, Chase DeLauder. 2 home runs in game 1, 1 home run yesterday. But nothing against Wu here so far. First pitch foul behind the plate, 0-1 count. Top of the 6th inning with a runner at first and 1 out. Nope, 2 outs. Still 1 out. Wanted that other. Throw to first and safe. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by DeLauder. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 2-0 Seattle lead. Oh, 2 pitch. Pops it up. And it goes behind the plate towards that progressive sign there behind Cal Raleigh. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Come on, Wu. Finish strong, baby. Yeah, Yankees starting on Monday. Definitely going to be a tough series after they have been manhandling the Giants in their first opening series. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And another punch out by Wu. Nice job there by Brian Wu, and that's 8 Ks off 73 pitches and 53 strikes. But there was a time where he was sitting at 44 pitches, 40 strikes. So, obviously he's had quite a few balls since then, but that's a pretty impressive stat nonetheless. 2-hitter for Brian Wu. First pitch to Jose Ramirez for a ball, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Jose Ramirez. Wu on the mound. Jose Ramirez in the box. Two 0 pitch. High and away. And we're going to get a challenge here. I think that was challenged by Cal. There we go. Good challenge by Cal Raleigh right there. We got a strike. Good. I mean, especially since Wu has been, struggling a little bit. We want to make sure that there's nothing that's left. We want to make sure we're keeping Wu's confidence high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez, or 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Now it ends up being 3 balls and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. If the challenge didn't go through, it would have been a 4-pitch walk. And they already got a runner at first, so we just got to be able to dig deep here and get this last out here in the 6th for Wu. Come on, Brian. 3-1 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field. Fair. Fuck. Get it. Run, Victor. And he's running home. Throw home. And it's way off. Throw to third. Safe. Damn it. Couldn't get the runner at home. Couldn't get the runner at third. And a big triple by Jose Ramirez that brings Rocchio home. And they get on the board. Now 2-1 Seattle. And again, guys are going to eventually get, a little fatigued. And again, when you're going against a player like Jose Ramirez, I mean, he's a perennial all-star, potentially a Hall of Fame type of player, right? So just unfortunate that we weren't able to get the throw home, as well as Ramirez at third. Nice base knock there by Jose Ramirez, RBI triple. And next up for the Guardians, first baseman in the 4-hole, Kyle Manzardo. And now we got Pete Woodworth, the pitching coach, on the mound. And then we got Edward Bizzardo warming up in the pen. First pitch to Manzardo, another hit towards right field. Hurry, Robles, and Jose comes home from third, and just like that, we're tied up at 2. And as great as Wu was, early in the matchup, obviously getting a little bit fatigued here, and you got to give credit to the hitters. They're on the Guardians. This team is normally in playoff contention, and finally Wu, getting a little roughed up now. I mean, both teams only have 4 hits, and but the 2 hits here as of late have produced runs for the Guardians, and the lead now is erased, and now we're tied at 2. Can't give up any more runs if you're Wu. We got to get this last out here. Next up is David Fry, takes a strike looking with the sweeper right down the middle, 0-1 count. Nice job there by the Guardians, making this a game, but we need Wu to settle in and try to get this last out. Edward Bizzardo warming up in the pen. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to David Fry. Wu on the mound. David Fry filling in for Bo Naylor at catcher today in the box. One pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Yeah, ABS has been great for the game. It hasn't slowed the game down, and it keeps the umps honest, especially when they had grudges against certain players. 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And finally, Brian Wu gets out number 3, but not after the Guardians catch up and tie the game up. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners, and let's see if we can retake the lead. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th, 1-for-1 with a run and a base on ball, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 1-for-2 with a run in the 6th hole, third baseman Brendan Donovan. And batting third, 1-for-2 with an RBI, right fielder in the 7th hole, Victor Robles. We're at 109 likes, 41 more to get to 150, baby. And Jolly comes through with a dono on the dono train. $5 holla. He said, Mets 2-0. He said, it's our year, finally. Jolly in the building. What's good, brother? Appreciate you and the support on the channel. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. We are at, I believe, 25. Roy with a 5-er. Jolly with a 5-er. Or, 5. Actually, I think we are at 20. Yeah, we are at 20. You got it, Captain. And then we had Velasco with a 10-er. So we're at 20 so far. First pitch from Festa to Arozarena. Takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. High and away with the four-seam fastball. 89 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Festa to Arozarena. But we almost hit 200 in the dono train on opening day and around 150 yesterday. So a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I'm not worried. You know, we have the best fans on planet Earth that represent this channel. And we're in the bottom of the 6th, tied up at 2. Festa on the mound, Arozarena in the box. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Randy. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And this game could definitely go either way. We just need our guys to step up here. Hard hit ball by Arozarena towards third. Throw to first by Ramirez. And that is 1 away. Hell of a throw there by Jose. And down goes Randy. Next up for the Mariners in the 6th hole, third baseman Brendan Donovan. This would be a great time for one of those. Try to end up. And now we got a mound visit. And maybe Festa's day is done. All right, looks like Festa is done. And Heron is coming in, so I got to grab that photo here. All right, we got a commercial and a pitching change. And lefty Tim Heron is coming in. All right, let's look at Festa's final line. All right, Festa, 1.2 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 1K, 14 pitches, 11 strikes with an ERA of 0. And his day is done, and now they're going to be bringing in the lefty, Tim Herron. And Wu is at 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks, 83 pitches, 59 strikes. So we'll see if Wu is out there for one more inning or if they decide to go to Edward Bizzardo. I mean, we obviously know that the bullpen is shaky. Again, we know that Bizzardo is great, Matt Brash is great, and then Munoz is great. So if it goes those 3 guys, we'll be fine. But if we have to bring in, Casey Legomina or Gabe Spire or Jose Ferrer, I kind of have confidence in Jose, but not so much for Casey Legomina or obviously Gabe Spire at the moment. Donovan's in the 6 hole because we went against left-handed pitching and they decided to give Rob Refsnyder a chance, but he went 0 for 2, and now Dominic Canzone is hitting for him in the leadoff spot at DH for the rest of the game. First pitch is low and away to Brendan Donovan, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees with the sinker, 92 miles an hour by Tim Herron. 2 balls and no strikes to Brendan Donovan. 2-0 pitch, in there for a strike. Takes that one looking for Brendan Donovan, who's been absolutely fantastic. Ran into the wall early in the game and ended up getting a ball in foul territory and has been able to come up with some clutch hitting so far in these first 3 games. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Herron to Donovan. Two pitch. And a nice hard hit ball. There we go. And another base knock for Brendan Donovan. He easily could end up leading the team in overall hits. He is the man. I like him leading off. I don't really like seeing him in the 6 hole, but as long as we got Dominic Canzone there instead of Refsnyder, we'll be fine. Nice job there by Brendan Donovan. Next up in right field today, playing for the first time for Luke Raley. 7-hole hitter who ended up having an RBI double to bring home Donovan to get us the 1-0 lead. In the second, Victor Robles. Let's go, Victor. First pitch to Robles, takes a strike looking low and at the knees. Slider 86 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Yeah, well, Donovan's going to be lead off 99% of the time unless we have a lefty pitching. And obviously Refsnyder, as a righty, traditionally hits really well. At least he did for Boston. And so they wanted to give him a chance, but, he wasn't able to get the job done. But I think in the future, they won't put him there ever again. If you're going to put Refsnyder in the game, it would be probably smart to put him somewhere at 6, 7, or 8 rather than leading off. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. I hear my pup outside the door. I'm going to let her in. Lay down. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Tim Herron on the mound. Victor Robles in the box. Let's go, Victor. We could really use a big RBI here. 2-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball towards third base. Throw to first. Run. Yes, safe. There we go. Nice job there by Victor Robles, reaching on an infield single to third base. Donovan to second. Bottom of the 6th inning with runners at first and second and 1 out. We're tied up at 2. Next up in the 8-hole, shortstop, Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. First pitch to Rivas from Heron. Big swing and a miss. Slider 85 miles an hour by Heron. 0-1 count. Yeah, well, Seahawks' 50th anniversary was last year, and they won it all. It's our 50th anniversary this year. Why not us? Trident's up. Let's go M's. I mean, we definitely have a team talented enough to get there. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Bottom of the 6th inning, we're knotted up at 2 with runners at first and second and 1 out. Tim Heron on the mound for the Guardians and Leo Rivas in the box for Seattle. Now, looks like Woo's day is done. He's got the jacket on. I assume Eduard Bizardo will be in the top of the 7th. 0-2 pitch to Rivas. Good eye, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Heron to Rivas. One-two pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 tie between the Guardians and the Mariners. We're showing JP there in the dugout. Great to see him. Obviously, one of the 5 new Mariner dads on the team. Extra motivation for us this year. 2-2 pitch. And runners advance, and they are safe. Stolen bags for both. And now we got runners at second and third. Let's go. Great timing there by the Mariners with that hit and run approach, and they both end up stealing the bags at second and third. 3-2 pitch from Heron. Hard hit ball up the middle. Throw home, and an easy out there for the Guardians. Damn it. And that is 2 away. Rivas to Rocchio, if it was just in any other spot besides where he hit it, but you got to give the Guardians credit, and obviously Donovan, you got to run hard there, but he had absolutely no chance. And that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners after that fielder's choice out is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Slider 84 miles an hour there from Heron to Young. Bottom of the 6th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking with the curveball, 78 miles an hour there by Tim Heron. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, and we're knotted up at 2. Tim Heron on the mound. Cole Young in the box. 1-1 pitch. Little dribbler up the middle. Run! Throw to first. And just in time. But good hustle there by Cole Young. But we leave a few stranded. And unfortunately, it's still going to be a 2-2 tie. Let's go to the top of the 7th inning and see who's up next here for the Guardians. And I assume that Eduard Bizardo will be making his way on the field, unless they go back with Woo. Woo's only had 83 pitches, but was looking a little shaky there in the previous inning. Next up for the Guardians here in the top of the 7th inning, 6-hole hitter, second baseman, 0 for 2, Daniel Schneemann. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a K in the 7-hole, left fielder, Angel Martinez. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder in the 8-hole, C.J. Kafis. I got to go get my pup a snack here real quick. I'll be right back. All right, 118 likes, 32 more to get to 150. Let's get there, baby. And Edward Bizzardo is on the mound. Brian Wu's day is done. And we gained another 3 subs since the last commercial break. 90 subs to go to 23,600. And first pitch from Bizzardo to Schneemann in there for a strike. Sweeper high and away, 81 miles an hour. Bizzardo on the mound. And Schneemann in the box. 0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball towards right field. And just foul. Lay down, honey. Daddy's working. Lay down. Take a nap. Lay down on the couch or lay down over here. Lay down. Paisley wanted to make an appearance. 0-2 pitch, high and away, sinker, way off the plate, 93 miles an hour there by Edward Bizzardo. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Schneemann. Lay down. Lay down. You have to leave, honey, if you're not going to lay down. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Daniel Schneemann. 2-2 pitch. And a little blooper into shallow left field. Randy is there. And that is 1 away. Good defense there by Randy Arosarena. Down goes Schneemann with a line out to left. Next up in the 7-hole, left fielder Angel Martinez. Paisley's doing better, thankfully. She was sick for about a day and a half, so she's feeling better finally. All right, she's making her way back to the couch, I think. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the sweeper, 81 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike to Angel Martinez. One 0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Angel Martinez. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Angel Martinez. Yeah, Wu's already out. So obviously it's Edward Bizzardo that's in the game now, our best guy in the pen. So, and plus, would we really want to bring Wu back out after he gave up 2 runs and was a little shaky? It's a smart move to go with Bizzardo. 2-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. There we go. And they're going to challenge. And they lose the challenge. And that is strike 3. And call is held. There we go. Call confirmed. Nice job by Edward Bizzardo. That was kind of a dumb challenge there by the Guardians, but we'll take it. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K. Right fielder in the 8-hole, C.J. Kafus. Top of the 7th inning, we're knotted up at 2 with nobody on and 2 outs. 1-0 pitch to Kafus. In there for a strike. Beautiful pitch there. Tried to jam him, but still got it in the strike zone. Sinker, 94 miles an hour by Edward Bizzardo, our number 1 in the pen. Bizzardo 1, Brash 2, probably Jose Ferrer 3, and then everyone else is a big gamble. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to C.J. Kafus. And obviously we have one of the best closers in the game in Andres Munoz. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is high and outside. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to CJ Kafis. Edward Bizzardo on the mound. CJ Kafis in the box. Three 1 pitch inside, and that ends up being ball 4. Is it challenged? Well, looks like Cal challenged this one. Let's see what the ABS says. And it's a ball. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up in the 9-hole, shortstop for the Guardians, Brian Rocchio. First pitch right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. In there for a strike by Edward Bizzardo. Are we getting another challenge? Golly, we're getting challenge after challenge here. And it is a strike. And Guardians have no more challenges for the rest of the game, and I do think that will play into our favor. Nice job. No balls and 2 strikes to Brian Rocchio. Oh-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Edward Bizzardo to Brian Rocchio. Top of the 7th, where the runner at first and 2 outs were knotted up at 2. Well, Bizzardo is our 1, so we, wouldn't really need to put Brash in before Bizzardo. Bizzardo is better than him, so. But Brash is close. But there has been time where Brash kind of, was shaky last season, but you could say the same thing with Bizzardo. But it's all about consistency. 1-2 pitch to Rocchio. Low and away. Sweeper 82 miles an hour missing there by Bizzardo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian Rocchio. Come on, Mariners. Come on, Bizzardo. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Sinker 94 miles an hour missing by a few inches there. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, we're knotted up at 2. Come on, Bizzardo. Three-two pitch. Jesus Christ. Terrible pitch that went wild, and luckily Cal ended up getting his mitt on. And now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Next up, 0 for 3, center fielder Stephen Kwan, and we got a mound visit now. And they got Gabe Spire warming up, but he's even worse than Bizzardo. Gabe Spire is a guy that gets 1 out and gives up a home run. Plays 2 games later in the WBC, gets 1 out, gives up a home run. Goes to spring training, gets 1 out, gives up a home run, and then ends up coming into the game in the season opener, shits the bed, and then we end up losing. So, we definitely don't want fucking Gabe Spire to come in. And I know Bizzardo's looking a little shaky here, but I would rather have Bizzardo than Gabe Spire any day of the week. Until Gabe gets better. Obviously we know Gabe is normally pretty good. He used to be a top 3 guy in the pen, but right now, not really. First pitch is high and away to Stephen Kwan, 1-0 count. But you also have to realize when you're in the pen, you're sitting, for 2.5 hours, and then you're expected to throw strikes and get outs immediately. And sometimes it takes a little time to get that rhythm going. 1-0 pitch. Popped up into left field. Get it, Randy! Fuck. And it drops right in front of Randy. And runner is coming home. And now they're up 3-2. Jesus. And again, you're going to win more games and lose more games in the pen. And again, the same type of thing happened in the season opener where, we were doing pretty good and then things kind of hit the wall. And, Wu was fantastic, but then gave up 2 runs and, got a little bit beat up. And now Bizzardo, who normally is trustworthy, obviously not looking very good here. And now we're down 3-2, but we still got plenty of time, but definitely is a little concerning. Now we got runners at second and third with 2 outs. And Bizzardo's probably done. Yeah, Bizzardo is done. And obviously, for a guy that used to be one of the worst in the pen with Taylor Saucedo, ended up turning into our best last year. But obviously right there, that was absolutely booty cheeks. All right. But again, if they bring in Gabe Spire, hold your breath because, luckily we have 2 outs, not 1. But if he ends up throwing it right down the middle, it could end up being a 6-2 game. And if he gives up a home run and we go down 6-2, the game is over. We'll still be able to probably manufacture another run or 2 before the game is over. But again, if Gabe Spire is the one that they bring in, and it is, Gabe Spire's got an ERA of fucking 18. Christ. All right, everyone, pray right now. You pray for the Pat McAfee lookalike to do his fucking job. All right, you Pat McAfee lookalike, do your job, baby. All right, Gabe Spire coming into the matchup for the Mariners. And next up, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks, who had 3 home runs in the first 2 games, 2 in the season opener and 1 yesterday. DHing in the 2-hole, Chase DeLauder. Probably the last guy that you really want Gabe Spire to face, but that's where we're at. All right, come on, Ems. We're going to have to really dig deep. We have enough bats, to be able to, tie the game up and potentially win. But how many runs are we going to give up here? Are we actually going to get the out? Because Gabe can get 1 out and then he gives up a home run. Luckily, we have 2 outs, not 1 out, But again, with runners at second and third and with an ERA of 18 and playing shitty in the WBC, I am nervous right now, especially going against a guy that's got 3 home runs in the first 2 games, Chase DeLauder. Come on, Gabe. First pitch to DeLauder. High and inside, 1-0 count. Sinker at 94 miles an hour there by Gabe Spire. Come on, Gabe. .0 pitch. And that ends up getting fouled behind the plate. Slider 82 miles an hour by Gabe Spire. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. And, a few years back, Gabe used to be a top 3 guy in the pen. And he may turn in, to a top 3 guy by the end of the year. But right now, he's probably the guy that you trust the least besides Casey Legomina and a few others. Hard hit ball towards first base. Toe tap that bag. And there we go. Thankfully, Gabe Spire, like he usually does, gets 1 out and then gives up a home run. But we already had 2 outs, and that makes out number 3. Thank God. We're only down a run. We still have a chance. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and let's see if we can tie this game up or take the lead. Looks like we gained 3 subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate that. Gained close to 80 subs within the last 2.5 games here, so I appreciate that. 87 subs to go to 23,600. Next up, 0 for 1, filling in for Rob Refsnyder, DHing the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. With one swing, the game could be 3-3. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K. Finally got off the schneid and got his first single of the year. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We could definitely use a home run right now. Let's go, Cal. And batting third, 0 for 2, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. It looks like Sabrowski is coming in for Heron. How many lefties does the fucking Guardians have? Golly. All right, Eric Sabrowski filling in here. Tim Herron's day is done. Eric Sabrowski on the mound, and instead of Dominic Canzone, it's going to be Ryan Bliss. Yikes. And instead of Ryan Bliss, it should be fucking Colt Emerson, but again, I get it. You don't want to have a lefty go against a lefty, but is that smart? Who would you rather trust, Dominic Canzone or Ryan Bliss? And I don't care if it's a righty or a lefty. Give me Dom. But let's see if Bliss can, do something here. First pitch to Bliss. Right down the middle for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and inside. Almost hits him there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Bliss. Come on, Ryan. For me, Bliss is more of a AAA player, honestly. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Eric Sabrowski. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Ryan Bliss in the box for Dominic Canzone because we have a lefty pitcher, Eric Sabrowski. And they did that shit on purpose. Instead of bringing in another righty for Dom, they know that he's been hot against them, hitting some big home runs in the season opener, 2 of them. 1-2 pitch, check swing, and that is out number 1. Wasted at bat, and again, Ryan Bliss shouldn't even be on the fucking roster. It should be Colt Emerson. What are we doing? And down goes Ryan Bliss, and that is 1 away. Next up, 1 for 3 with a K, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. First pitch, high and away to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, 1-0 count. I mean, I think, when you watch players enough, like we do on this channel, yeah, every once in a while, someone will surprise you. But more times than not, when a player is more of a AAA player like Bliss, you're realistically probably not going to get the big play that you want. I mean, it is possible once in a while, but, Bliss is more of a AAA player, like I mentioned. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees to Cal Raleigh, slider 86 miles an hour, 2-0 count. 2-0 pitch. Hard hit ball, laser towards third base, and foul. Slider 85 miles an hour there by Eric Sabrowski. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-2 Guardians. And we definitely need Cal Raleigh on deck, Julio Rodriguez, and after that, Josh Naylor to step up. They haven't really produced a whole lot in the first 3 games. 2-1 pitch, low and at the knees as Fry cradles that into the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 7th, Mariners down by a run. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Three-one pitch. And that is a walk. Great eye there by Cal Raleigh. Cal ends up taking his walk and making his way to first base. Next up, Julio Rodriguez, and I couldn't think of a better time for him to hit his first home run of the year than right now, so we can have a 4-3 lead. Let's go, J-Rod. Bring that electricity. Let's go, Julio. First pitch to Julio. Big swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball. High and inside. 93 miles an hour. 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. And Julio calls for time. Big swing and a miss right down the middle there by Eric Sabrowski. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour again. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. Bottom of the 7th with the runner at first. 0-2 pitch. Fouls that one behind the T-Mobile Park bricks. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. Come on, Julio. 1 out and 1 on. 0-2 pitch from Sabrowski. Hard hit ball by Julio into right field. Or I thought it was going into right field. Looks like it ended up going behind the plate. And still, no balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Took a little while for that ball to drop. Come on, J-Rod. Show that little kid in the stands with the chicken tender boat on his head. 0-2 pitch. Julio, hard hit ball, but it should stay in shallow center field. And Stephen Kwan is there, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, cleanup hitter, first baseman, Josh Naylor. And I do think that we need to swap Cal and Julio in the batting order. You know, we need to have Brendan Donovan lead off no matter what, righty or lefty. And then we need Julio in the 2, Cal in the 3, and then Naylor in the 4. Or even maybe flipping Randy and Naylor in the 4 and the 5. I mean, sometimes you got to be able to kind of mix things up, especially when Cal, Julio, and Naylor are all struggling. Just sometimes moving a guy 1 spot down or 1 spot up can, you know, change the outcome. First pitch is fouled off by Naylor. 0-1 count. And Randy Arosarena on deck. One pitch from Sabrowski to Naylor. Whoa! Almost hit him in the head. Naylor had to jump out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. And if Naylor wouldn't have moved, that would have got him right in the face. Holy cow. Yeah, and again, the only reason they put Brandon Donovan at the 6 is because they wanted to give Rob Refsnyder a chance, because against lefties, when he was on the Red Sox, he rakes, but he went 0 for 2, and then they put in Dom. So, you know, sometimes you got to experiment, but I didn't like the lineup when social media posted it, and I saw Refsnyder at the 1. I was like, no, I didn't like it at all. You should have just kept Donovan there. You know, who would you rather have 5 at-bats? One of the best players in the league in Brandon Donovan, or a guy that typically does good against righties, but you don't know for sure? 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Naylor. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sabrowski to Naylor. But again, you know, you live and you learn. And hopefully Dan will understand that, you know, you shouldn't be putting Refsnyder as a leadoff hitter ever. You know, it should always be Brendan Donovan, period. No matter who's pitching, righty or lefty. I mean, that's the whole reason why we got him. And again, if you keep him at leadoff hitter, I mean, he could be, you know, the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro Suzuki, and that's really saying something. No disrespect to J.P. Crawford, Randy Arosarena, as well as Victor Robles, but, you know, Donovan is the perfect leadoff hitter. 2-2 pitch, low and into the dirt. Good save there by David Fry. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And Cal, Julio, and Naylor, the timing is off, but at least Cal got off the schneid and got his first hit of the year. You know, struggled in the WBC and has struggled, obviously, in these first 3 games, but Julio and Naylor haven't really done anything, so we need these guys to step up. I mean, take the walk here if it's there, Naylor. 3-2 pitch. And that's a walk.
Nice job by Naylor by not unnecessarily swinging at garbage. And now we got runners at first and second for Randy Arozarena. Glove almost touched Naylor's bat there. Let's go, baby. And we know Randy has the ability to do this. And this would be a great opportunity if he gets one right down the middle. 3-run blast puts us up 5-3. And even an RBI to tie it up 3-3 to not get greedy. I'll take that. Let's just keep the game going. And it looks like are they going to go with another pitching change here? Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-2 Guardians with runners at first and second and 2 outs. 1 for 2 with a run and a base on ball for Randy Arozarena. And we'll see who ends up coming in here for the Guardians. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Still on a commercial break here. Gained a few more subs since the last commercial break. And now we only need 85 subs to get to 23,600. Just hit 23,500 today, and we've gained almost 100 subs in the first 3 games of the season. Let's go. And it looks like Armstrong is coming in. Sean Armstrong, I believe former Ranger. First pitch from Sean Armstrong to Randy Arozarena in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Come on, Randy. Sean Armstrong on the mound, Randy Arozarena in the box. 0-1 pitch. Gets away from the catcher, but runners can't advance. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-2 Guardians. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Randy get a RBI or home run. Get on base, keep the game moving. 1-1 pitch. Good eye, low and away. Cutter, 91 miles an hour by Sean Armstrong. And it would be nice if we could have a pitcher on the Guardians kind of shit the bed and get a little shaky for us to be able to crawl back into this game. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Armstrong to Arozarena. Randy, hard hit ball to third base, throw to first, and that is out number 3. The Mariners leave 2 stranded, and that's the end of the 7th inning, but the Mariners still have a chance. We got 2 more innings to be able to tie the game up or take the lead. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the 8th for the Cleveland Guardians. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, we're at 145 likes. 5 more to get to 150, 55 to get to 200 with about 300 in the room. We should be able to get to 200 before this one is over. Gained 5 more subs since the last commercial break. And now we only need 80 to get to 23,600. Appreciate every single one of the 80 to 100 subs that we've collected within the last 2.5 games. Appreciate you. Next up for the Guardians, 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI, third baseman Jose Ramirez. Batting second, 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 Ks, cleanup hitter Kyle Manzardo. And batting third in the 5-hole, catcher David Fry. And Casey Legomina is coming in for Gabe Spire. Oh my. And this might not be good. Monday through Wednesday, we got the Yankees next. And obviously, I'm always up for a challenge. And obviously, you're going to have more games won and lost by bullpen pitching. And this is one of our worst guys on the team. We know Carlos Vargas is very wild, but he's on the injured list. So let's just pray that we can actually get out of this top of the 8th inning with the score being still 3-2. First pitch to Jose Ramirez, low and inside at the knees. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, pops it up behind the plate. I mean, it really, if we can just get like, a cheap pop-up, a cheap grounder, you don't really expect any strikeouts out of your worst guy in the pen. You just want to get a cheap out here or there, and then maybe you can get lucky and get 1 strikeout. But the last thing that you want is for him to start walking 1, 2, 3 guys, and then eventually the big home run happens and then game over. So pitch fouled off there by Jose Ramirez, and hopefully we can get 2 cheap outs out of 3. Best case scenario, we get a double play and a strikeout, or a strikeout and a double play, and we get out of this inning. But that's going to be tough when you got Casey Legomina there on the mound. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Ramirez. Come on, Casey. Don't fuck this up. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. There we go. Cheap little pop-up. Julio Rodriguez is in shallow center, and that is 1 away. They got the message. Nice job there by Legomina, and great job there by Julio Rodriguez. No-fly zone staying intact. Next up, 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 Ks, Kyle Manzardo. And obviously with that cheap pop-up, it would be nice if we can get 1 more of those. First pitch, sweeper, 80 miles an hour, low and away for a strike. 0-1 count. Captain says we're at 157, 43 more to go. Pitches high and away by Casey Legomina. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Manzardo. And tomorrow's game will be an exclusive on Peacock, and I know that not everyone has that particular app, but I will be obviously live for that one as well. Little slow dribbler towards first, and toe tap on the bag, but the ump, as Naylor looks at him as he toe taps on the bag and says, foul ball. That would have been another cheap out. That would have been fantastic. And that's what you want, out of shitty guys in the pen. Whether it ends up being someone that's unreliable like Gabe Spire normally, or a Casey Legomina, or a Carlos Vargas. You just don't want them to, hit a guy, walk a guy, and then give up the big home run. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Legomina to Manzardo. Two pitch, popped up and fading into left field, out of play. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Guardians up 3-2 on the Mariners, but we still have a chance to tie this game up or to take the lead. 2-2 pitch, little slow dribbler towards first base, and foul. And so far, Legomina is looking okay, But again, we still got 2 more outs to go. AR in the building, what's good? 2-2 pitch, popped up, and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, fouled off by Kyle Manzardo. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Legomina to Manzardo. 2-2 pitch. That was close. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Legomita to Manzardo. Come on, Casey. Dig deep here. 3-2 pitch. And there's the cheap strikeout that we needed. There we go. We got a pop-up, we got a strikeout, and then last but not least, let's get a little ground ball, throw to first, then we're done. Next up is David Fry, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks. And if we could get a slow dribbler, to the pitcher or, to someone in the infield, that would be great. First pitch is high and inside to David Fry, sweeper, 81 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And Legomita is one of the worst in the pen, but so far, with those first 2 batters, looking somewhat decent. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Did he go with the check swing? No, he did not. Sweeper, 80 miles an hour, missing by Casey Legomita. 2 balls and no strikes to David Fry. Come on, Casey. 2-0 pitch, high and inside, and this is, looking like it could end up being a walk here. I mean, unless we can get a pitch down the middle that Fry will swing at and we can get a cheap pop-up or ground out. That's what I'm hoping for here. 3-0 pitch from Legomita. Strike right down the middle. Fry does not swing. Sinker at 92 miles an hour by Casey Legomita. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning. Mariners down 3-2. And again, the bullpen, is going to win or lose more games for you as you get a little bit of a check swing there. And fouls it off himself. Hopefully he's okay. Sinker, 94 miles an hour by Legomita. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. The last thing that we need here is a walk because next batter could end up getting an RBI or a home run. We want to make sure we get out of this inning unscathed if possible. Come on, Legomita. 3-2 pitch from Legomita. Oh, shit. Hard hit ball into left field. All the way back to the wall. Jesus Christ. And David Fry slides into second base for a double. At least it wasn't a home run, I guess. And David Fry with a big stand-up double with 2 outs. Next up, in the 6th hole, second baseman Daniel Schneemann. Come on, Casey. No more hits. First pitch, big swing and a miss by Schneemann. That was a nasty sweeper. 79 miles an hour by Casey Legomita. And I usually don't say nasty sweeper anytime when I talk about Legomita, but that was a beautiful pitch. 0-1 count. Come on, Casey. Get him to bait on some garbage. 0-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And he does not. Sweeper, 80 miles an hour by Legomita. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second. David Fry with 2 outs. Daniel Schneemann in the box. Casey Legomita on the mound. Come on, Casey. 1-1 pitch. Pops it behind the plate. There we go. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Schneemann. 1 strike away. One good pitch away from getting out of this. Come on, Casey. I'm even bringing out the Griffey bobble. Come on. 1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. Grab that. Throw to first. Got him. Huge. I mean, considering he's one of the worst in the pen and he didn't give up a run, it wasn't the perfect inning. He did give up a double to David Fry, but most importantly, nobody homered and nobody got an RBI, and we still have a chance. Down 3-2. Now let's see who's up next here for the Mariners, and it's time to be able to tie the game up or take the lead. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Next up for the Mariners, 2 for 3 with a run, third baseman in the 6th hole today, Brendan Donovan. And I have a feeling he's going to be the best hitter, for the Mariners all year. Batting second, 2 for 3 with an RBI, right fielder playing in his first game of the season, giving Luke Raley a rest, Victor Robles. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, shortstop, Leo Rivas. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. All right, we're at 160 likes. We have 40 to get to the goal, and we got 326 people in the room. So if we can just get 40 people out of the 326, we can hit 200. That would be great. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 79 subs to go to 23,600. And shout out to the 80 to 100 people that have subbed in these first 3 games. Come on, Donnie. First pitch to Brendan Donovan. Right down the middle with a sweeper, 84 miles an hour for a strike. 0-1 count. Sean Armstrong on the mound. Brendan Donovan in the box. And Armstrong is the former Ranger. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. Sinker 94 miles an hour by Armstrong baiting Donovan. No balls and 2 strikes from Armstrong to Donovan. Come on, Donnie. 0-2 pitch. High and away. Good eye there by Brendan Donovan. 1 ball and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 8th with nobody on and no out. 3-2 Guardian lead. 1-2 pitch, low and into the dirt. Nice save there by David Fry. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sean Armstrong to Brendan Donovan. We could really use a home run swing here. 2-2 pitch, hard hit ball, fading into left field, out of play. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Come on, Donnie. Ooh, Luke Raley going to come in. I like that. Luke Raley coming in for Victor Robles here late. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Brendan Donovan. A rare strikeout for him, and that is 1 away. Nice pitch there by Sean Armstrong. Next up for Sean Armstrong, instead of Victor Robles, it will be Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. Come on, Luke. It would be great if we could get a player to hit a home run in the first 3 games. Come on, Luke. He's homered in game 1 and game 2. First pitch, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 1-0 count. Come on, Luke. I mean, Luke is doing what we thought Cal Raleigh and Julio would do, hitting a home run in the first and second game. But with Cal, we already knew he was going to be a little rusty, especially when we saw what he was unable to do in the WBC. He didn't really have a whole lot of opportunities, and they were pitching him inside and outside. And anytime he got something down the middle, he just fouled it off. Pitches outside with the cutter. 2 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. 2-0 pitch, low and away. Good eye by Luke. 3 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. We need a nuke. Let's go, Raley. 3-0 pitch. And that is a 4-pitch walk. We'll take that. Nice job, Raley. Next up, in the 8-hole, shortstop, Leo Rivas. Well, everybody knows that Julio stinks in the first half of the season, and every single year since his rookie year, he hasn't had a good first half ever. Again, we were hoping, at some point that this would be the first year that he ends up, putting together a full season. But so far, still, a little shaky, but he will get better as the season goes on, just like everyone else. First pitch to Leo Rivas, big swing and a miss with the cutter, 88 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And it also really depends on who you're going against pitching-wise. If you're going against starters that are very good, but also once it goes to the pen, you need to be able to do your job going against a crappier pitcher. But sometimes guys are just off, and baseball is fucking hard. Oh, 1 pitch. Outside there for a ball to Leo Rivas. 1 ball and 1 strike from Armstrong to Rivas. 1-1 pitch. Strike right down the middle. Takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Bottom of the 8th inning, Guardians up 3-2 with a runner at first, Luke Raley on a 4-pitch walk. Sean Armstrong, the former Ranger, on the mound. Leo Ribas in the box. Let's go, Leo. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball, double play, throw to first, and damn it. And that is it for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th. Now we're down to our last opportunity in the bottom of the 9th, but we have to pray that they don't get anything in the top of the 9th. And I'm curious to see who they bring in. It won't be Casey Legomina, so. And it's not going to get any easier after playing the Guardians. We play the Yankees Monday through Wednesday. So, I hope that we can find a way to come back and win this game, at least tie it in the bottom of the 9th and win it in extras, or find a way to win this game 4-3 in regulation. But if we do drop this game, you got to remember, we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow. So, we're definitely going to need the batters to step up even more tomorrow. And then you got Yankees, obviously, Monday through Wednesday with Aaron Judge. We know how that goes typically. It's definitely going to be a war and a battle. Next up for the Guardians, in the 7-hole, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks, left fielder Angel Martinez. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, right fielder CJ Kafus. And batting third in the 9-hole, shortstop Brian Arroquio. I think we're at 20 on the Dono train. Hoping to be able to get close to 200 likes. Captain says we're at 175. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that Dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gained 4 more subs since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. And we're at 75 subs to get to 23,600. And they're bringing in Wilcox from AAA. And that was obviously the flip-flop replacement for Carlos Vargas. So we will see how this goes. Hopefully Cole Wilcox will be somewhat decent here. First pitch from Cole Wilcox to Angel Martinez for a strike looking. Sinker right down the middle, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Let's see what this AAA player has here. 0-1 pitch, crushed into right field, fading foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Angel Martinez. And if we can have a similar outing that we got out of Casey Legomina, a cheap pop-up, a cheap grounder, maybe 1 strikeout, that will be good enough to get out of this. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Angel Martinez. One-two pitch, crushes it towards first base and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Angel Martinez. One-two pitch, and a nice cheap pop-up there in center field for Julio Rodriguez. No-fly zone stays intact, and that is 1 away. Another nice cheap out here for Cole Wilcox. Nice job, Julio. And we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow on a Peacock exclusive. Next up is CJ Kafus. First pitch, a hard hit ball towards first base and foul. 0-1 count. Slider 86 miles an hour by the AAA stud Cole Wilcox. Not as good, obviously, as like a Cade Anderson or a Ryan Sloan, but 0-1 pitch. Inside there for a strike. So far, looking okay. No balls and 2 strikes to CJ Kafus. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss and a punch out by Cole Wilcox. Let's go. 2 away. And potentially the last out here for the Guardians, Brian Rocchio. Wilcox has got a little swagger. Come on, Ems. First pitch to Rocchio. Hard hit ball into left field. Get it, Randy, run! And foul. Thank God. That would have easily been a double there for Rocchio. But so far, so good here out of Cole Wilcox. Getting an opportunity to, take a spot, in the pen. And he ended up replacing Carlos Vargas when he went to the injured list. And so far, I kind of like what I see. I mean, it's a very small sample, but you can tell a lot about certain players, body language and, just kind of the aura and vibe that how they carry themselves and whatnot. And hopefully we'll be able to get a last pop-up or ground out, cheap out here for out number 3. And then hopefully we can tie it up or win it with a walk-off. 0-1 pitch. Little slow dribbler. Get that. Wilcox. Little underhand flip to Naylor. Great job. I like it. Hell, we might need to keep Cole Wilcox in the bullpen, especially with, Gabe Spire and a few of the other guys like Legumina that we don't really trust. So nice job. For a guy that just came up from AAA, I'll take that. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th and tie this game up or win this fucking game. Next up, 0 for 3 with 2Ks, second baseman Cole Young. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, Ryan Bliss, which I thought when we had Bliss and then they brought in Canzone, I thought you can't bring a player back in, but this is what it says. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a base on ball and a K, Cal Raleigh. But again, Bliss did come in after and replace Canzone, but I would like to see someone other than Bliss hit. I know it sounds crazy. Put in Mitch Garver. Again, Mitch Garver, is, he won the backup job over Kisner. That's one of the only guys that we have left. I don't have any confidence in Ryan Bliss. And usually I have a little bit of confidence out of anybody on the team. But if we go Cole Young and then we go Mitch Garver and then Cal Raleigh, I think that gives us a better chance. Because, the best thing that you could ask for Ryan Bliss is if he gets hit by a pitch or we get a walk. I just don't really think he's going to get a hit. He's more of a AAA player. It is possible that Bliss could end up getting a hit, but it would have been nicer if they would have just kept Dominic Canzone and not went to Bliss, but it is what it is. Bottom of the 9th inning, 3-2 Guardians, and hopefully we can get Cole Young to do what he did yesterday and get a home run. But give me Mitch Garver. And that's not something that I'm going to say very often, but, Mitch is one of those guys that every once in a while he can homer. It may not be often, but hell, more often than Bliss, so we'll see how this all plays out. Come on, Cole. Bottom of the 9th, Guardians up 3-2. Cade Smith on the mound coming in for Cleveland. First pitch to Cole Young, and he fouls it behind the plate, 0-1 count. Come on, Cole. 0-1 pitch, low and into the dirt. Nice save there by David Fry. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. One pitch, good eye, low and into the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. Big swing and a miss there by Cole Young. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cade Smith to Cole Young. Cade Smith on the mound, Cole Young in the box. Come on, Cole. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base. It's fair. Go. Go. Get that double. Leadoff double for Cole Young. And we're due for someone to shit the bed on the mound. And Cade Smith gives up a big double to Cole Young. Let's go. Let's go. And is this going to be Ryan Bliss? On deck is Cal Raleigh. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a ball. 1-0 count. Come on, Bliss. Find a way to move the runner over to third. Get hit by a pitch, but don't get injured. Take a walk, or maybe a miracle single. 1-0 pitch. Goes bunt. And it is a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Bliss. Come on, baby. 1-1 pitch. Bliss shows bunt, pulls back at the exact right time. 2 balls and 1 strike from Cade Smith to Ryan Bliss. Cade Smith on the mound, Ryan Bliss in the box. Come on, Ryan. 2-1 pitch, shows bunt, and it ends up going behind the plate towards the T-Mobile bricks. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Bliss. Come on, Ryan. Bottom of the 9th inning. Guardians up 3-2. Runner at second, Cole Young. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Ryan Bliss. We would have been better off with Mitch Garver. And that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Be a great time to hit your first home run of the season with a walk-off right here. Come on, big dumper. Come on, Cal. Give us the game winner. First pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour by Cade Smith. 1-0 count. Cal finally got off the schneid and got his first hit, a single earlier in the game, but has struggled since the WBC, spring training, and now to open the season. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Good eye there by Cal. 2 balls and no strikes from Cade Smith to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Two-0 pitch from Cade Smith. Big swing and a miss by Cal. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Bottom of the 9th inning, Guardians up 3-2. Runner at second, Cole Young with 1 out. Come on, Cal. I mean, even getting a single or double would be great. Just keep the inning going. 2-1 pitch. Good eye. 3 balls and 1 strike after that splitter goes into the dirt by Cade Smith. 3 balls, 1 strike, runner at second, and 1 out. Come on, big dumper. Cade Smith on the mound. Cal Raleigh in the box. Come on, Cal. 3-1 pitch. And they call it a strike. Where was it, though? Right on the corner. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second, Cole Young, and 1 out. Come on, Cal. Compose yourself. Come on, big dumper. Come on, Cal. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Cal Raleigh, and that is 2 away. Beautiful pitch there by Cade Smith. Next up, center fielder in the 3-hole, Julio Rodriguez. And if we can't get it with Cal Raleigh, maybe we can get it tridents up with Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. Come on, J-Rod. First pitch is low and away from Cade Smith. 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Cade Smith. Bottom of the 9th, 3-2 Guardian lead with a runner at second and 2 outs. Cole Young at second, Julio in the box. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. 0 for 3 with a walk and a K. Finish it off going 1 for 4. Come on, J-Rod. 1-1 pitch. And fouls it off behind the plate towards the T-Mobile sign. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. One-two pitch. Julio. Yes, let's go. Hit into right field. Go, Cole. Go, 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 Cole. Let's go. Let's go. That's the Julio Rodriguez that I'm fucking talking about. And let's be honest, even though Julio may be one of the best, outfielders, potentially the best center fielder in the game, let's be honest, Mariner fans, 9 times out of 10, that's strike 3. And he came up big there. Again, most of the time, that's not a clutch thing that he typically ends up doing. Like if we had that scenario 10 times, maybe he gets that hit once, maybe twice, and that was huge. Now the game is tied up at 3. You got to be real about things sometimes, and thankfully Julio came up big, huge. There we go, Julio. Stolen bag off to the wild pitch. All right, we tied it up 3-3. Let's try to win this now. Let's go. And they're having a little bit of a meltdown, and we like that. We're due. We've already had meltdowns in our pen, obviously with Gabe Spire and a few others. We're due for a little bit of a meltdown. The game is tied up at 3. Wild pitch. Julio gets into scoring position at second. And we have 2 outs with a 1-0 count. And they're going to automatically walk Naylor, which is kind of surprising. Naylor hasn't done anything all year. Andres Munoz warming up. And Naylor is walked. And I think Cade Smith is done. They got a mound visit there. And they're trying to figure it out. So you're going to walk Naylor for Randy? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, we know Randy, sometimes is hot and sometimes he's not. But wouldn't you rather go to Naylor rather than Randy? That doesn't really make sense to me if I'm the Guardians. If I'm the Guardians and I'm looking at Naylor, yeah, he's a good player, but he hasn't been good in the first 3 games. He hasn't gotten a hit. So we'll see if we can end up making them pay for that decision there. But I think, Randy would give you a better chance of getting a hit rather than Josh, at least at the moment. But let's see if Randy can come up big. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. And Randy is more prone to be patient to take the walk. And, who knows? Maybe we'll get bases loaded here. Come on, Randy. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. Nasty pitch there by Cade Smith. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Come on, Randy. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Another nasty pitch there. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour in the exact same spot as the previous pitch by Cade Smith. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And we're knotted up at 3. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. Just on the line, but not getting the call. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. And that literally could have been strike 3. I mean, it was right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, and 2 outs. We tied it up at 3. 2-2 pitch. Randy. And that just got a piece of fry. I hope he's okay. And that goes into foul territory towards first base. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Two-two pitch. Good eye there by Randy Arozarena, low and at the knees as it goes into the dirt. Count Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Three-two pitch. Randy, little blooper, center field. And that is out number 3. But at least we tied the game up, and that's what we wanted. Obviously, winning it in regulation is great, but now we're going to go to extra innings. Let's go to the top of the 10th and see who's up next for the Guardians. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up for the Guardians, 1 for 4 with an RBI, center fielder Steven Kwan. Batting second, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, DHing in the 2-hole, Chase DeLauder. And batting third, 1 for 4 with a run and an RBI, third baseman Jose Ramirez. And who will be coming out for the Mariners? Andres Munoz, I would assume. And Munoz is coming in. Let's go, Mooney. Gained 3 more subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate that. 72 subs away from 23,600. And we're at 192 likes. We need 8 more to get to 200. So out of the 400 plus in the room, if we could just get a few more, we'll get there. For people that don't realize that it's a trident, you obviously don't watch baseball. And a little bunt towards third base, throw to first. And a wild throw, grab it. Holy cow. And just like that, with that terrible throw, the Guardians go up 4-3, just like that. What was that? I don't know what's worse, these people not realizing that it's a trident, or what happened there defensively for the Mariners. Golly. First pitch there is strike 1 to DeLauder, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and inside at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. And again, Donovan, normally isn't going to make errors or, bad throws like that, but it is baseball. Pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chase DeLauder. And ABS challenge on the corner. One ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. 4-3 Guardian lead. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Check swing. Does he go? No, he does not. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase DeLauder. Come on, Mooney. Two-two pitch, crushed into left field. All the way back to the wall and gone. Unbelievable. That might be it for the Mariners. And Chase DeLauder hitting 2 home runs in the season opener, a home run yesterday, and now a home run in extra innings. He's got 4 on the year, and just like that, 6-3 Guardians. Brutal. Nice home run there by Chase DeLauder. Obviously, you don't see too many guys, with 4 home runs. 2 in the season opener, 1 yesterday, and then 1 here late. Couldn't get it on Woo, but was able to bring the electricity for the Cleveland Guardians and extras. And now we're down 3. And again, if we were down 1, maybe we would be able to come back. But realistically, this one is over. I mean, unless we have a miracle, like where they have, a pitcher that comes in and shits the bed and we have a monster inning, but it's going to take a lot considering they're up by 3 now and we still have no outs. Next up is Jose Ramirez. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jose Ramirez. One ball and 2 strikes to Jose Ramirez. One-two pitch. And a little slow dribbler towards first base. Toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. And even, players that you normally trust, like Munoz, they're human. Sometimes you get rocked. And I definitely wasn't expecting him to be this bad, coming into the game, but got to find a way to win tomorrow with Emerson Hancock on the mound, and that'll be a big challenge. Next up is Kyle Manzardo. First pitch is inside, 1-0 count. 1 for 4 with an RBI and 3 Ks for Kyle Manzardo. One-0 pitch, takes a big swing and a miss with that slider, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Manzardo. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Mooney to Manzardo. Top of the 10th inning, 6-3 Guardian lead. After we were able to tie it up in the 9th to make it 3-3. A bad throw by Brandon Donovan and a big blast by DeLauder opened this game up. Pitches outside with that slider. 3 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Manzardo. 3-1 pitch. Finally getting another strike there on the line. High and away. Slider 83 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Manzardo. Hard hit ball. Throw to first. And that is 2 away. Manzardo grounds out to second, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Cleveland Guardians is David Fry. 2 for 4 with 2 Ks so far today. First pitch in there for a strike from Andres Munoz. Sinker 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 2 more likes to 210. We'll get there. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Slider 84 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to David Fry. Top of the 10th inning with nobody on and 2 outs. Guardians up 6-3. Munoz on the mound. Fry in the box. 0-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to David Fry. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And finally, we get out number 3, but not after Mooney and Brandon Donovan kind of shit the bed there in the extra innings. And now, it's going to be a miracle to even get 1, but now we have to try to get 3 to tie and 4 to win. But again, if there is a meltdown in the bullpen, the percentage, the chance is very, very small, probably less than 1%. But again, you never know. It is baseball. But realistically, this one is over, but I'm hoping that we can go on a little bit of a rally here. At least show a little bit of heart and try to get at least, a run or 2 if possible, but we'll see. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 10th, 2 for 4 with a run and a K, third baseman Brendan Donovan. Batting second in the 7 hole, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, Luke Raley. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a base on ball in the 8 hole, shortstop Leo Rivas. Let them know, Marine Beam, to show a little bit of heart, a little bit of fight. All right, Connor Brogdon coming into the game. All right, Mariners. I mean, if we're going to lose this game, let's try to lose swinging, and again, if we lose, even 6-4 and putting up 1 run here, obviously 2 would be great. But if you get to 2, then you're going to be, losing 6-5, but we'll see how it goes. You got a ghost runner at second. So a couple meltdown pitches and a couple, timely hits could be the difference, It may be a small percentage chance, but you're saying that we got a chance. First pitch, high and away to Brendan Donovan, 0-1 count. Mike in the building, what's good? Flying Monkey in the building, what's good? One pitch. Inside there for a strike to Brendan Donovan from Connor Brogdon. 1 ball and 1 strike with a ghost runner there at second with no outs. Bottom of the 10th, we're down 6-3. And again, Wu was electric all the way to the kind of the end, and then he gave up 2 runs that made the game 2-2, and then the game kind of got away from us after that. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Two pitch, and Donovan pops it up into shallow center field, and Stephen Kwan is there. Randy tags up and goes to third. Safe. There we go. Nice aggressive run there by Randy. And that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners in the 7 hole, first baseman Luke Raley. First baseman, right fielder, DH, he can do it all. First pitch to Luke Raley, high and away, 1-0 count. Bottom of the 10th inning, Mariners down by 3 with a runner at third, Randy Arozarena with 1 out. Connor Brogdon on the mound, Luke Raley in the box. If we can get a nuke from Luke Raley, that would be great. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss with the 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luke Raley. Yeah, every time we play the Guardians, it's always a war, just like it will be when we play the Yankees. And Raley crushes it, deep center field, and gone! Let's go! And Chase DeLauder ends up hitting homers, 2 in game 1, 1 yesterday, 1 today. Luke Raley hitting 1 in game 1, 1 in game 2, and another in game 3. Let's go. Luke Raley, baby, 6'5". And again, what are the chances? But again, we are a team that has a lot of heart and a lot of passion and a lot of fight. And all we need is just a little bit of a meltdown, or a bad pitch. And great job there by Luke Raley. Next up is Leo Rivas, and now we actually literally have a chance to be able to tie this up and go to 11 or possibly win. Let's go. One-0 pitch, right down the middle to Leo Rivas. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brogdon to Rivas. Bottom of the 10th, 6-5 Guardians. And again, I love the fight. I love the heart. That's what you want, especially when you're going to have a long season. 1-1 pitch, crushed into right field and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Unbelievable. Great job by Luke Raley, man. Homering in game 1, game 2, and game 3. And you got to remember how terrible he was last year. His timing was off. He had a few minor injuries. They decided to go with him over Robles to start the year. People were questioning that. And again, Luke coming up big with a nuke. 1-2 pitch. Rivas fouls it behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brogdon to Rivas. Luke hit that homer for all those haters. Appreciate you, Nuke. 1-2 pitch. Rivas, big swing and a miss. And that is 2 away. All right. Cole Young has an opportunity to be able to do some big things. He's been very hot, just like Luke Raley. And let's see, 1 for 4 with a run and 2 Ks. Let's go, Cole. Can Cole tie this game up and make it 6-6? He's been able to flash the bat in spring training with Colt Emerson. And let's see if Cole Young can actually do it here. First pitch is low and away. 1-0 count. Come on, Cole. 1-0 pitch. Pops it up. And luckily that one goes behind the plate, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. And obviously, if we lose this game, at least we showed that heart and that fight, to be able to get to 5, which, most teams would have, 1, 2, 3, game over. You lose 6-3. So, again, hopefully that momentum will carry over to tomorrow because we got Emerson Hancock on the mound. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. 2-1 pitch. And just got a piece of that. Fouled it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brogdon to Young. I feel like when we play the Guardians, it's just like when we play, the Astros or the Rangers or the Blue Jays or the Yankees, or the Dodgers. I mean, it's never easy. It definitely is a war and a battle. Out of 4 games, you might get 1 blowout by one team, but most of the time, the games are decided between a run or 2 or less. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. And Brogdon ends up ending the game, and an unfortunate loss, but again, it's better than losing 6-3. And again, we ended up getting a little bit of love there by Luke Raley hitting that bomb. But again, you got to give credit where credit is due. More games are won and lost in the bullpen. And unfortunately, just like in the season opener, the bullpen, kind of lost it for us. And again, Brian Wu was electric when we were up 2-0, but gave up those 2 runs. And obviously, that is the end of the game here between the Guardians and the Mariners. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Cleveland. 5 runs, 9 hits, and an error by Seattle. And let's just take a look at the stat line before we go. And let's see what we got here. So we got Rob Refsnyder that they decided to have lead off. And that was probably a decision that they will never do again, at least I hope. He ended up going 0 for 2 before they brought in Dominic Canzone, and he went 0 for 1. Then Ryan Bliss came in and went 0 for 2. So, we got to make sure we leave, Brendan Donovan as the leadoff hitter, no matter what. I don't care if it's a righty, a lefty. I don't care who it is. You got to keep him there. That gives us the best chance to win. Cal Raleigh goes 1 for 4, and Julio goes 1 for 4, so they finally get off the schneid. I would like to see Julio bat second and Cal bat third. I would like to see that flip-flop. Naylor 0 for 3, still hasn't been able to find any kind of rhythm so far into the season. Randy went 1 for 4. Brendan Donovan 2 for 5, but had that costly error in the 10th. Victor Robles, in his first game in right field, went 2 for 3 and had the RBI for Donovan to score to make it 1-0 early. Luke Raley, 1 for 1 with a home run, hitting a home run in Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3. So a bright side for us with Nuke Raley. Leo Rivas, 0 for 4, and then Cole Young, 1 for 5. And then as far as pitching stats, you had Brian Wu go 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks, 83 pitches, 59 strikes. His ERA is 3. But again, he was great until that last inning and gave up 2 runs to make the game 2-2. If we were able to hang on to a 2-0 lead and then he exited, or a 2-1, maybe that would have been the difference. Bizzardo came in and pitched .2, ended up having 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and a K. 24 pitches, 11 strikes with a 5.40 ERA. Gabe Spire had an ERA of 18 coming in, got it down to 13.50, pitched .1, and ended up getting out of the inning. Legomina came in after that, pitched 1 inning, and ended up having 1 hit and 1 K, 23 pitches and 15 strikes. Cole Wilcox coming in for AAA, actually pitched well. 1 inning pitched with 1 K, 10 pitches, 9 strikes. And then Mooney ended up losing the game for us. And that's not something that we're going to say very often. Him coming in, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 K, 20 pitches, 13 strikes, and ERA of 9. So again, guys that we normally trust, like Brian Wu and Andres Munoz, they lost it for us. And again, most of the time, they're going to be heroes. Today, not so much. But again, we lose the game in a heartbreaking way, 6-5. But again, we have to be able to brush it off because we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow, and it will be a Peacock exclusive. So come through and hang out with your boy. And congratulations to the Guardians, for all of the haters and whatnot that don't know what a trident is. They don't deserve to be on this channel anyways. But again, for a real Guardian fan, GG, and a good game. And I look forward to us tying it up 2-2 in the series before we play the Yankees on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that's how you end a stream with class. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, and shared. And again, we will be live tomorrow for the last game between the Guardians and the Mariners. Final score, Guardians 6, Mariners 5 in 10 innings. Congratulations to them. And hopefully we'll be able to get the win tomorrow with Emerson Hancock. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Tridents up.